is up, everybody? We are back. Did you miss us? It's been a while. 3 weeks since the last episode, and
Withdrawals.
withdrawals. So, a couple things going on, and then the 1 week was the West Virginia game. So, glad we got that win last week. We definitely needed it. That might have turned around our season somewhat, although we still got a mountain to climb, and we take on the Longhorns this week. So that should be an interesting battle. So we are a big underdog for that one, but offense is putting up points, so you never know what the Big 12
Right, yeah.
score. So
The Big 12 is all about scoring, that's for sure.
I love to see us get a win and be horns down. You know what I'm saying? Horns down in Texas. So we'll see what happens. And we're into the big strength of it because I think next week is Baylor, and then we're rolling through. So at Kansas was a shock. I thought we would get Kansas. I was surprised. But now that Kansas is still undefeated, it looked like they actually got a good team. It doesn't hurt as much.
Right.
Although we were up on them and then lost in double overtime, which I've never seen a score where you lose in double overtime by 13. Because, it's only whoever scores next, right? But they got an interception, the guy ran it back. Why do you just slide down? That kind of rubbed it in a little bit. That was kind of a little dirty. He could have just slid down with the ball, but I understand he wanted his points too, so.
Our bowl season probably goes ways in the balance this weekend for us as well.
Yeah.
go on the road to Nebraska, which they're terrible, but it's Indiana football, so you never know. Although we are 3-1, so.
Yeah, you were one of the basketball schools that were actually out there winning. So, as far as being undefeated, it was you, Kentucky, Michigan. I think North Carolina might have been one. I don't know if they've lost yet.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we lost last weekend to Cincinnati, so.
Yeah.
But 3-1. Maybe up to that point it could have been. I think they did show that. I don't know. Kentucky's still undefeated, but.
Yeah.
I don't know about the other teams. But yeah, Nebraska's not. They're 1-3, I think. Of course, they just fired their coach a couple weeks ago, so.
Yeah, I want to say it took a while to get rid of Scott Frost. He got a benefit from being their former quarterback, I think. He should have been fired like a season and a half ago, if not 2 seasons ago.
Right.
So
being an alumni can definitely get you a little cushion.
Yeah, like he was terrible, but it's Nebraska.
We'll see.
Seems so long ago when Nebraska was a powerhouse,
I know.
It seems like that's back when, I guess their last really good years when Tommy Frazier was quarterback back in the 90s. I don't know if they had anything since then, really.
They honestly haven't been all that great. I mean, they've been okay, I guess, since they joined the Big Ten. So I don't know how long has that been now, 10 or 12 years, I guess. I don't know. But they haven't been what they thought they were getting, as the conference was getting anyway.
And welcome in Lawrence Bruin and Eric Gilbert in the house. Cheers, y'all. And I put the first poll question of the night out there. How many pumpkin beers have you consumed thus far this season? So I had 0, I had 1 to 5, I had 6 to 10, I had over 12. So I don't know if it's over 12 really yet getting that crazy, because that would be, you got to be like one of those kind of pumpkin spice kind of people to be drinking that many. I mean, you're probably freaking wearing pumpkin pajamas if you're drinking that much pumpkin.
I'm not sure what was that 0 to what, 5?
It was 0, it was 1 to 5, 6 to 10, and over 12.
I don't know if
I meant to put 6 to 12, so that was a typo on my part. So
I don't know if I've been over 5 or not.
Yeah.
I'm ready to add one to it tonight, but I've already had it too, so I'm not really adding an extra one. But
well, Lawrence Bruin said 55. I don't think you had 55 pumpkin beers, so if you've had that many, you definitely have probably the pumpkin pajamas. So
no kidding.
Gilbert said 0 pumpkin beers for 6 years, son. He's on the non-pumpkin fad. So I think I've only had 1 pumpkin this year. That was because I was somewhere and it was like some offering that sounded interesting. I can't remember which one it was. I'd have to look at my Untapped, but it wasn't like a full thing. It was like one of the taster or something.
Now, is that including like all Oktoberfest, everything?
No. Just pumpkin beer. Just pumpkin.
Beers.
Let's not start slamming the Mersons. So we don't want to leave them alone. They're all right.
Well, I mean,
they're fine.
That into that casual.
Yeah.
So I guess. Well, I was almost trying to do that. So I guess actually tonight I might actually have a pumpkin beer. But...
Yeah, just a straight pumpkin. So
okay.
however many have been consumed there. And I don't think Lord's Brewing. I don't think it was 55 for that because I don't know if Lord's Brewing was really liking the pumpkin. I'm trying to see what the emojis there are. And Wayne's in the house. Cheers, Wayne.
What's up, Wayne?
Ain't no hurricane going to stop this party. Yeah, so Wayne's down in South Carolina, and the Wayne, our buddies, our fam, EB, Erie, all of them down there. You guys be safe because you guys are basically, I guess, next up here in the line for the storm. All the talk is coming out of kind of some in Georgia, but it seems like that's headed right into South Carolina.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
And thoughts go out to all the people in Florida. Our buddy Elbow, he's down in the Tampa area. I haven't heard anything on his end, but I haven't seen Elbow in a bit anyway. But, there's people down there. Miscellaneous Beer Reviews, he's down there in Florida. So all those guys are definitely struggling. So hopefully they're getting through everything. I was telling Todd before we started, I saw like Sanibel Island got cut off. Like 2/3 of the bridge is basically gone. Yeah, and you can't get there. Wayne's out there. Yeah, Dave's TV. Yeah, Dave, he's down there. He got it first, and he's doing okay, which is great. And yeah, so it's kind of a crazy thing. But you know what? Mother Nature, Father Time, both are still undefeated. So,
right.
Yeah, whatever we build or think we're building, Mother Nature can just take it down, and no one's going to outbeat Father Time. So,
was it 150-mile-an-hour winds? Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was one of the biggest ones, I guess, that they've had for storm surges with that one. And people were trying to compare it with the other ones, but it was like the eye of the storm, I guess, was like 40 miles across. Because they were trying to relate it back to Charlie, and Charlie was only like 20 miles across.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought they said it was the biggest one that they've had.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah, and their concern was always the damage afterwards. So I know they did have some people that had died earlier today, I guess. I think it was like 6 or 7 people, they said. But one area, they rescued like 700 people today. So they're trying to rescue people that were, they're trying to get hunkered down and stay behind. And, a lot more of the people, I think, got out. But there's always some that stay back. And the video we were talking about earlier before the show where someone had shot where it was a shark going down the street. Like, freaking, there's a shark out there on Main Street, son. What do you You think about these people that are trying to wade through the water. You also got to worry about the alligators.
Seen videos of. Are you familiar with Top Golf? Like one of those places you go to.
Yeah.
You know how big, like how tall the netting is? It goes
right. It's like the next level up there. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw videos of like the Top Golf down there, and there was zero net. There was nothing. It was like all gone. It was just the poles, kind of.
Yeah.
Some of them were just kind of bent over, and it was crazy.
Yeah, I saw some areas where there was one, they were working on a building and a scaffolding had been kind of ripped away from it. And it wasn't even the spot where the storm was even headed. It was like north of the spot. But the winds were so strong and wrapped that. I've seen airplanes in people's yards. I've seen boats in people's yards. I've seen boats overturned, So some people were going to try to wait out on boats, I know. But it's just, you just never know what can happen there. So it's sad, people coming out with their bags of whatever they actually have there, so.
One of my brother's good friends, he's actually married to one of my good friends that I went to school with her together. Anyway, they live down in Florida, and he posted a picture on Facebook today, and he's got some sort of straps all over his house anchored down into the ground to try to keep it from, blowing the roof off and whatnot. It was pretty crazy looking.
It's a mess. But hopefully, it's like the first hurricane they've had to deal with down there. So hopefully everything gets put together. Yeah. And hopefully they get a chance to recover because as you get into the season, another one could pop up there too. We can do stuff there as well. But, right now the forecast is more intense ones like this going forward because of the warming of the ocean too. So it'll be interesting to see. But Wayne is actually having a Oktoberfest Merson from Left Hand Brewing.
Nice.
So very nice. And Donner's in the house. Cheers, Donner.
I'm Donner.
You don't know Donner. Y'all want to know about whiskey? Make sure to check Donner out as well. Been a while. Good to see you, my friend. Gilbert is actually drinking a it's a 12. I'm trying to think how to say it now because I haven't done French in so long. Trois Pistole from Lunabrew. Yeah, so he's having that, which is actually a decent one for them too. The good old Canadian brewery. 2 solid hurricanes in a week. Yes, and also I mentioned the one in Florida, but we also got to give some thoughts out there to our friends up in northern Canada, over the Nova Scotia area that they got hit. I think Maxwell Starr, Nick, I think he's out in that region, and some other the guys up there. So hopefully all those people up there also were able to get through. That one kind of disappeared on the States radar. Like we were watching to see what would happen up there, and then once they found Ian was coming, they kind of turned off watching from the Canadian stuff to the one here in the States. But I know that one also wreaked some havoc. And I think there's like 2 or 3 other ones out there in the ocean now that are starting to stir up. So it is that time of year.
Crazy times, that's for sure. Yes.
Yeah. But it still brings back the question, is there a spot in the country that's the best spot to actually be in for stuff? I mean, I just heard up in Cincinnati. I don't know if if you got it there, but I guess the temperature's starting to drop right. Like you guys are in the 40s to the 60s or something.
Oh yeah. It's been like 20 degrees below normal right now.
Did y'all become Minnesota overnight?
Go from like sweating your nuts off to like needing a sweat jacket in the mornings, to cover, and then it gets in the 60s. But it's been, let's see. Of course, it would start the weather decline. So I planted some grass seed and did some yard work last weekend and the grass to grow, and I was like, okay, so I still got plenty of time. It's gonna be some nice warm weather still coming up, and all of a sudden it was like, nope. The 60s during the day and the 40s at night. I'm like, are you serious?
Wow.
I think it is supposed to start warming up a little bit again next week, but even though I say warming up like in the 70s maybe.
Yeah, we've still been in the 70s and 80s here, which has been nice. I think we just finally came off the 80s the last couple of days, so we're kind of in the 70s right now, but I think it's supposed to hang like that for a week or 2 at least. So
we really haven't had any rain, so I don't think the ground temperature is going to rise as much as the temperature is right now. So, will drop as much as the temperature is outside. So I think I'm still good for a little while yet, because it still gets warm enough in the day. And it hasn't hit freezing temperatures yet at nighttime, so I'm hoping it still should be good.
And we got Eric Thomas Meadow in the house. Cheers. He's sipping on some Crown Royal Northern Harvest Rye. 87 on 100. So very nice. I didn't know there was a Crown Royal type beer out there. So is Crown Royal the brewery, or is it not from Crown Royal Distilling?
So I was thinking, that's what I think. Was Crown Royal maybe some sort of a cocktail? I don't know what that is.
Yeah, because Crown Royal would have the trademark on that name, so he said it is the whiskey. Yeah,
it's like whiskey.
Okay. So you're just doing rye whiskey. It's not a beer, so you did a rye whiskey that you
rye whiskey
8700. Okay, look at you going to the whiskey side of things.
I like it.
I like some Crown Royal though. I can get down some Crown Royal. I've got that. Started drinking that Captain Morgan's Black Spice rum.
Oh yeah.
Some good stuff. Let me just tell you, that's some good stuff right there. Put that in a nice little vanilla Coke or something like that, or cherry. I've done like Coke Zeros with them and stuff, trying to still keep the workouts going, but it's pretty smooth. And let's see here. The Maritimes got hit pretty good. Yeah, I remember all the talk about where it was going to hit up there, and then all of a sudden, like all of our news coverage kind of just flipped to the southern part of the states. Big Daddy in the house. Cheers.
Big Daddy.
Did you have Juice Force last time we were talking?
He's done that Juice Force kick.
Sure. It's getting hard to find in Chicago. I don't know. I guess it's like a regular thing from now where they're putting it out, but it seems pretty popular. I've had it. I reviewed it. It's tasty, but it seems like it really hooked Big Daddy, and he's really enjoying that one. But speaking of beer, for me, what did you get? I'll let you go first. What beer did you actually grab?
So I'll tell you the beer first, and I kind of tell you the story behind it. So I'm drinking. This is from one of our local breweries. It's Fistful of Ales, and it's their Oktoberfest. I don't really have any can art because it's a crowler, which kind of goes along with the story.
Yeah, let me.
So it's 5%.
What is there? Okay.
So they started their
Oktoberfest.
Oktoberfest, yeah. So they just started their Oktoberfest. I think they have a outing or something on Saturday. Their Oktoberfest celebration on Saturday. But anyway, so we went. When did we go? I guess it was this past. Yeah, it was Monday night. So they start. So we went. We've been going there. We've gone there once. I don't know, 2 or 3 times in the last 2 or 3 weeks, I guess. But they have a once a month deal where it's like a membership type thing, and they have so for couples. So Shannon and I joined, and it's like $70 a month, and it's the last Monday of every month. And they have, so you get 2 free beers when you go, and then they'll get a couple of samples of whatever beer they're going to talk about. So this one was their Oktoberfest they brought out. But then you also get 4 crowlers of choice. I don't know if it's of choice, but Oktoberfest was one of them. But they also ran out of cans, or they didn't get their shipment of cans in yet. But they just had enough cans just to get enough for their Oktoberfest out for the group members or whatever. Plus, you get like a little dinner, so it's not bad. I mean,
no, it's not bad.
It's not. I mean, 4 crowlers can cost you $30-$40 anyway. So, plus you get 2 beers on top of it. That was 2 beers a piece that you have to pay. And they shut the brewery down. They're closed on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
A 2-hour deal, and you can stay. And they talk about beer and kind of what goes into it and different types of people share stories of what they've tried or different new places they've been to or whatever. It was pretty fun. It was the first time we've been. It was pretty cool.
That sounds like a pretty good deal and stuff there too.
But he did say, and it was a little flat, so I'm assuming this is probably going to be a little flat too. But the taste of it was really good. But he said they didn't get a chance to force carbonate it enough because they were trying to rush it out for this week, being an Oktoberfest week or whatever. I'm like, yeah, he probably should have just kind of held back a little bit and just been like, sorry.
Yeah, because I mean, you could have still had it come out like in a couple weeks. Or
yeah,
so.
I'd be like, and you should, like, sorry, just don't put out just a half-ass product, which I feel like they kind of did on this one. But most all in all, though, their beers are usually pretty good, and they have like 20 taps.
Oh wow.
14 or 16 of them are self-made beers, and they usually have like 3 or 4 guest taps.
Nice.
So as you can see, it poured. It didn't really form any.
Yeah, it didn't really form any head of it or anything. Yeah.
But still get the taste of it. It just tastes a little flat, but
yeah, still get the grain sweetness and everything.
Yeah. But the flavor of it's still pretty good. So it's not too bad. It comes in at 5%. So I thought I'd pop one open and drink it because then I don't know how long do you think you can keep a crowler for?
I've actually spoken to some people, and they said, people that actually canned them when I was up in Kentucky, Party Source. Some of the people at Braxton said, they thought you could probably go like 3 months with them or so.
Really?
I feel like that. I mean, because you're canning it. I mean, when you're looking at a can, you're kind of looking at what I said, like a mini keg, right? So,
right.
But when you are doing it, you're taking it from the tap, so there is going to be some air there because it's being exposed before you put the top on it.
Right.
Usually, if I have a crowler, I usually try to get them done within a couple weeks, 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I think you're fine to do that, but it's not like a growler where it's like that seal doesn't hold as much unless you got one of the airtight growlers.
Right.
Yeah. So
that's kind of what I always thought too. But you always hear anybody say anywhere from a week or less or a month or 2. I don't know about it.
You got some people that say you don't drink an IPA in 1 month. It's bad. Get rid of it. It's bad.
You're right.
Yeah. So.
Drain 4. It's 1 day old.
You can't drink that enjoy vibe 1 day later. Don't put that date. You got to drink it by that date. Otherwise, drain 4.
Throw in the whole 6-pack out. No, don't do that. Just send it my way.
hold that enjoy by just 1 extra day to see what happens. And cheers to Vanessa in the house. And Vanessa said, "Does pumpkin pie and stout kind of a pumpkin beer? Not if it's the actual pumpkin beer. I mean, you're pairing the stout with pumpkin pie, which is a nice little combination to do as well. But we were talking about just the actual pumpkin beer. Now there are probably pumpkin beers out there with pie being in it.
What would you classify as, I guess, what is Pumpkin and Warlock classified? Because they're both
pumpkin
stout,
beer. They're both pumpkin beers.
Beer?
Yeah, they're both pumpkin beers.
So I did have a pumpkin. Oh, actually, and a Warlock also a couple weeks ago. Or one last week and one 2 weeks ago.
Because they came out. I mean, the Warlocks and all that stuff, and everything's kind of out there now. So, which we'll talk about the next holiday here in a bit that you sent to me. Because it's like, what the fuck? Can we even get to Halloween first? What the hell?
I know. It ain't even in the true pumpkin season yet. Like, come on, man.
Oh, we're talking about that storm. And yeah, Gilbert said you got the leftovers of the storm and rain and cold and windy for 3 days. Yeah, you got off easy though. Yeah, because it got back out. And didn't. The problem with this storm is like it's so slow moving. It sat over land. Like it really busted up some stuff down in Cuba. I mean, Puerto Rico knocked out all the power all across Puerto Rico. So it was just a beast. I would drink a growler and a couple or share it. Yeah. Now, if you have a growler. Like when I used to get growlers, I would drink those within a couple days.
Yeah.
Yeah. And those were always good if you could share it with someone too. I mean, you could throw down 64 ounces, no big deal, but you know, that will catch up with you at some point. So if you have a friend, slow it down. Christmas has been out skipping over all holiday. Yeah. So we're going to talk about the Christmas beers and stuff that are kind of hitting right now, but the beer I'm going to actually crack open is actually from Von Trapp, and it was one that caught my eye. Very interesting beer. Now, I was going to do a review on it, and I slipped up because, you know what I always tell people, check the dates, and I didn't check the date on this one. I thought I was all good. I only got the one. I didn't get the 4-pack because the place I got it from, you can break off just one of them and I have to get the whole thing, and it's just divided by 4 or whatever. But this is from Von Trapp Brewing, out of Stowe, Vermont, so just north of where Vanessa is, and it is their Maple Rock. So rock beer with maple infused into it. So you're putting the maple into the smoked beer. I'm on board because I feel like it's going to be a little campfire breakfast in this can when I crack it open. So that's what I'm looking to go for with this one. Product of the USA by the family that inspired The Sound of Music. I did not realize Von Trapp. I never really watched The Sound of Music.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, is that any reference to The Sound of Music at all?
I didn't know that. So now we're tying beer to The Sound of Music. How about that?
That was the family that was their last name was Von Trapp.
Yeah. So this is an ABV of 6.2%, IBU of 20, and they put on here. Now, we're actually on September 29th, and I actually mentioned this when I did a thing on Twitter about this store because I put them in there when I tagged them into it, but it said Best Buy 412. So we're just under 6 months out from when they said the Best Buy. We'll see how it actually tastes here. I don't do the review because I don't want to slam the brewery because it's not their fault the store didn't turn it out, but at the same point, I've got the beer. So this will be a nice experimental tasting, which are always good to do from time to time.
So it's 6 months older than it says Best Buy date?
Right.
Okay, good.
So even I miss out on things sometimes. So do what you can.
Because I think it also just depends on the storage and.
Yeah, I mean the store is a pretty good store. That's why I'm kind of surprised this was the case. So.
See, I feel like sometimes that's just overblown.
Yeah, I mean, it could definitely look to maybe go longer, but you get a nice head there. Got the nice tannish head. You get the nice dark color of the beer itself. Getting the smokiness coming out. The little campfire smoldering type feel. So again, it can be something that still works out, even if it is past that point. They want to make sure, as a brewery, that you taste it at the best possible way. So that's why they're going to tag it that way. But occasionally you'll come across some beers and it might be a little bit later and you can still enjoy them.
Oh, yeah.
I get like a sense of like a bacon type feel. So yeah, this is going like a campfire breakfast right now for me on the nose. It smells really, really good. The more I let it sit here breathing, the more that smokiness starts to ramp up. So this has become one of my favorite lager type styles to actually enjoy as well. So taste wise. Oh, that's good. That's got a nice smoothness to it. You get that maple in the taste on the back end. You have that smokiness still in play. Nice sweetness to it. Great tone overall. A little bit of a stickiness type feel. I can really feel like the smokish tone of it lingering in the throat area. Still has nice carbonation. Can easily feel that on the tongue. Yeah, this is decent. So again, 6 months after the Best Buy date, it's still pretty solid. So Vanessa, this will be up towards your area. Again, Von Trapp Brewing and the Maple Rock Lager.
So you don't think the age on it did any damage to it, you know?
Not for this style, because everything that's still happening right now would be what you would tend to get off that beer anyway. So it seems like it really held well. Like I could have went in there if I wouldn't have saw a date, I could have done a review and been just fine with it. Everything is really be delivered nicely here.
I would think like your IPAs, where things start to sweeten up more. Like they do seem to get a little more maltier, sweeter as age progresses on them.
Mm-hmm.
I think your more aggressive beers like an IPA or whatever I think the sweetness would settle the hoppiness of it. But you know what I mean?
If I was camping, this is a beer I would definitely like to have in my backpack. That's for sure.
But outside that, I don't know that the date. Obviously, the fresher probably the better, but until you get in the age stuff, and then you can sit on them for a while. But I don't know. I just think sometimes it's just overblown. Sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it from the brewery perspective, like I said, because they want to make sure to put their best foot forward on stuff. So, but you know, like we were talking Tuesday night, we did a Twitter Brews Day, and before we did the show, one of the guys was asking about like doing the merch and how long you could probably do it. So a lot of them are at least 6 months you could actually do out there. So you can hold them out. It just depends on how it's stored, how it's handled. You know, if it's good quality, you know. That's why you got to experiment. So you got to have fun with the beers and try them in different aspects to really get a good feel there. Now, if this would have been sitting in a liquor store, the air conditioning would have been out and it would have been like on the shelf out there for a period of time, then yeah, that might have been a worst case. Which I've been into some stores where it's just like, it's way too hot to buy any beers in here just because you know all the beers are still kind of being recooked in there. So always got to take in the atmosphere where you're buying the store, where buying the beers at.
Well, that one, for instance, too, though, like if you would have noticed the date on it before you bought it, you probably wouldn't have bought that one then, right?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have bought it then, too. Yeah, so
you know, kind of like, you know, if it's if it's just a one-off, then you know, 4 or $5 or whatever the cost, of that, maybe less, whatever. It's not that big of a deal, but Of course, feel like Eric was, and you crack it open, and
that was the funniest thing.
Things start crawling out the side of your glass or something, you know. Then you
I need to find that clip and make it short. That was one of the funny. Like, dude, like, what is wrong with that beer? It's like 6 years old Brooklyn beer. Yeah. But you know, they made up for it. You know, which is great. Yeah. But it's like, that's like when the store is not helping out the brewery at all. Like, dude, you put that on your shelf, someone bought it. Makes us look bad. So
that'll still be one of the greatest stories ever to go down.
I think the floaties have floaties. It was so crazy. You got some gram floaties in there right now. Oh, let me see here. Big Daddy said, my buddy's a half hour north of Tampa, didn't even lose power, said he's bar hopping tonight. Well, I don't know how many bars going to be open. I mean, a lot of people are probably helping out doing stuff, but I have one of my high school friends, he's been posting on Facebook on stuff, and they were actually flying where they were, and they were about an hour outside the Tampa area. So with him being north of Tampa, I don't doubt that just because it went like south more than it was supposed to go. So never really got a direct hit on Tampa. It was like Fort Myers and everything below it, Punta Gorda and all those areas that really got the pain of it all.
I know the big power company in Louisville LG&E. They were sending a bunch of trucks down last night. I think they were all lining up to go down to help out.
Yeah, I think we have stuff in Maryland going down as well. So yeah.
I imagine most.
But some places are still holding because we got to wait to see what happens in Georgia and South Carolina, North Carolina.
True.
Yeah. So
you can send out all your help and then need help on your own.
Yeah. Vanessa said, Todd's green screen window gets better every stream. I'm down to 64 ounces of a Belgian. Now I'm with you on that, Gilbert. I've done it. I would do it again. So, yeah. Although I try not to do those kind of things as much now, but yeah, I can still do it. Maple beers that smoked yum. Yeah. So if you happen to see this one near you, like I said, they're out of Vermont, so you're probably close where you can actually get this, Vanessa. For Von Trapp Brewing. Vermont maple syrup is like maple syrup light.
What was that? What were they going to make? A bacon something?
Bacon, bourbon, maple, I think.
Bacon, yeah. So one of I knew it was bacon something, but I couldn't remember. Yeah, bourbon barrel, bacon and vanilla flavored. Is that what it was?
Bacon, bourbon, and maple.
Oh, maple.
Yeah.
Maple, bacon, and bourbon. Yeah.
No.
So I guess that was like they kind of just got people throwing out different ideas or something of the club.
Yeah.
So that's what they came up with. So I think they're going to come out with that one in a couple months or something, maybe. I guess they started back in February, but like I said, this month was our first time we've ever been, so just more so just try it out. But it was fun. We had a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that time of year where you see a lot of those coming up there. So, and I've had some bacon beers too. Vermont maple syrup is like maple syrup light. Shots fired, Gilbert. Shots fired. We know you got the maple there in Canada. Vermont Brewery is that one, Rod. That is Von Trapp Brewing. Vanessa already mapped it out. 209 miles due north. But you might have to go there. They might have distribution down to where you're at in Connecticut, but
it's just 3 clicks on the.
I'm kind of curious now, though. I wonder if they had like Sound of Music stuff there, since it was Sound of Music from the Von Trapp. So if you're a Sound of Music fan, it might be worth the drive to go check them out.
It would be interesting to see.
For me, dates are only really important for nice hop forward beers. Well, for hop forward, yeah, because you don't want to lose some of the flavor. Well, actually, but if you get some of the stouts, some of the pastry type stouts, some of those can actually fade on you too.
Well,
so
the adjuncts
those do matter.
The adjuncts in those, I was gonna say that was gonna be my second one too. Besides the hop forward ones, heavy adjunct ones, which you see typically in stouts, like you said.
Yeah, like some of the sours
they start
as
fading
well.
Off. Yeah, they start falling off too. I think a little bit.
Oh, blast from the past! Emerson's in the house. Where you been, homie? Drinking one for me. I'm taking a knee for a bit. I decided to torch myself and watch you fellas drink. Cheers. Hey, you got to take a break sometimes, so nothing wrong with that. Great to have you in, my friend. Cheers, buddy. Hope all has been well. You can sit there and think of trivia questions you want us to do, Emerson. You like to throw stuff out there from nostalgia standpoint. So see what you come up with. Let's see here. We got Dave in the house, beer in front. Evening, my friend. Cheers.
Dave.
And if you don't know Dave, for those you like to follow, well, now Dave has a YouTube channel for Beer in Front that you can check him out. But he also has a podcast, The Man About in the Land of Chicago, that keeps you up to speed on a lot of the different things there. So make sure to follow him there on the podcast. And we'll be doing the Beer in Front Awards.
I still need to do some of those beers on there. I've got the list and haven't done.
Yeah.
You've
done some before, but you haven't done them in a while, probably.
Well,
so,
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had a lot of them on there, but I haven't done them recently.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like some of them aren't going to change really too much.
No.
So. But I've got some more I got to add into it as well. Going back to the poll, so 64% have had 0 pumpkin beers this year. My crowd is not the pumpkin beer crowd. That's all right.
Yeah,
I dig it. I dig it.
that.
29% between 1 to 4, and then 7% over 12. I want to know who the over 12 is.
Whoa.
I know it's anonymous, but I'm just kind of curious who has had over 12 pumpkin beers this season, or someone just hit that answer just to hit that answer. I bet somebody's just messing with me on that one.
They're like, somebody has to put one in there.
I mean, you got to be a pumpkin fiend. Von Trapp, no, from lagers, mostly if I remember. Oh, nice. Well, this is a lager, so maybe it is. Maybe it is. A plane to someone's house on an island down there, no airport on the island. Yeah, there was a plane in someone's yard, probably a plane in the house as well. There was a boat I saw like next to someone's house, and it was like, it's not our boat. We don't know whose boat it is. So they had to figure that stuff out, which, you know, they have the boat number on there you can easily identify. But yeah, people are finding all kinds of things that are showing up. So, but when I saw the shark down the street on the video, I thought, you know what? After having COVID in 2020 and 2021 and 2022, we have to be close to a real life Sharknado at some point.
I mean,
it has to happen when there's an actual Sharknado that takes place.
It's like tip of the iceberg right there. Like that's the big thing right there.
I feel like we're so close. We're so close right now. So
don't say it. Don't say that, because that's what's gonna be next.
Wouldn't that be some freaky type thing? I mean, NASA's shooting things at asteroids to deflect them. Then we got sharks on streets. We got all kinds of shit happening right now.
Actually, when we were at the thing on Monday night, there was a guy sitting behind us, and he was streaming it on his phone. He's like, "I'm trying to watch NASA with this asteroid, shoot the asteroid or whatever." Like, okay.
Well, it was funny because I saw like the after effect and like the NASA things. They're all happy, like it hit the asteroid. So what happens next? Oh, we don't know. We have to wait a couple weeks. Like, wait a second. So we hit the asteroid, but we don't know if it's going to really take place in a couple of weeks. Like, okay, like I can't get really fully excited yet till we know it actually works, kind of a type thing.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, we'll figure it out when we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Oh, I know you'll hunt it down, Vanessa. You'll get some 3.5 hours up there. So yeah, I mean, nice Saturday drive, Sunday drive, you know. If I pour the beer into the pie, I was gonna maybe put the pie into the beer, but I guess you could pour it into the pie as well. I mean, well, if you put the beer in the mouth and you hold it, and then can you put a piece of pie in there and merge them together? I don't know. Somehow it's gotta be a way to work the combination. What is up, JT in the house? Good to have you, my friend. 0 pumpkin spice beers in my life. Never, ever, ever, ever. Yeah, so JT is not on the pumpkin. You never slipped up and had a pumpkin and didn't realize it was a pumpkin or anything? Like,
and not even an oops or anything? Yeah. Like, oh, man.
The feed from the asteroid hit was nice, detailed. Yeah, it was nice and everything. It was just funny, just like, oh, we got to wait now to see if it's less than a half degree off course is what we need. And then I guess, did we ever send the Artemis up? Did that ever take off? They kept pushing it back. That Artemis test rocket they were trying to send up.
I don't remember hearing if they ever did actually send it.
I can't remember if they ever got it back up. And
I don't think they did, but I don't know that for sure.
Yeah. Put pie in a blender with beer and make it a pie beer. Now you could do that. I mean, could be a little rough, could be a little chunky, but I mean, technically, I guess you would have a pumpkin beer if you did it that way. Yeah, I don't think it moved. I don't think it only has to move less than a half degree from the scientists that I saw on the news talking about it. So I guess because of the way space is, that little change makes a big effect down the line. But, it was funny because NASA was doing it, and I was thinking as well, I thought Trump created Space Force. I thought this would be a mission for Space Force. Like, if we got Space Force, what's the Space Force crew actually doing, You would think that would be like the Bruce Willis team,
They're sitting back like, yeah, it was, see how much they really know.
Do we still have Space Force? I don't even know. I know they were working on it.
Probably not.
Probably
like their own plans.
That should be our job.
Yeah. Yes.
okay, Artemis is going up in October. The little satellite they sent to the rectilinear orbit around Moon is having issues. Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, it's interesting though. I mean, because you have the private industry now doing a lot of stuff there too, which is great. So it's not putting it all on NASA to try to get it done. And I guess the next thing is also trying to colonize Mars as well to do whatever we're gonna do up there. But a lot of stuff happening. I mean, by the time it all gets said and done, I'll be dead already. But for the future, we're trying to go to a new frontier. Yeah, Space Force exists. The uniform design looks a bit much. Isn't it like the Steve Carell show that he did for a bit, like for like something like their uniform or something? I can't remember, but yeah. How do you do it in a recruiting office? Are you in a recruiting office and they're like, "Oh, you're here for Army, Marines, Navy, Air Force"? Nope, straight Space Force. Is there a recruiting office for Space Force people now? Like, how do you sign up for that? So. I haven't seen a pamphlet. I haven't seen a brochure.
So Tua just got knocked out of the game.
Another concussion?
I don't know. It was a weird looking. Like the hit didn't look very bad. The only thing I can figure is maybe his head bounced a little bit off the turf. Got a stretcher out, getting ready to carry him off the field.
Well, after last week's game, they're under the microscope,
and his hands were all drawn up, like they were all weird looking.
It's like that's like you do like the old Fred Sanford arthritis thing there.
It was all. He was just like laying there, and his hands were all. It was weird.
Oh wow! Well, hopefully he's not heavily serious.
They showed the replay, and it just looked like he kind of just got spun over and just fell on his back. It didn't look like it was that bad.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't have the sound on, so I can't hear what they're saying. But
see their uniform thing, Space Force the musical. Coming to Broadway.
Devon Traps.
I mean, it'll be like the spinoff from Spaceballs, right? So, classic movie.
That is a classic movie right there.
So Todd sent me a thing there before, and I was actually thinking about that the other day. But anyway, now we got the Christmas beers that are being launched. So Great Lakes announced their Christmas beer coming out, and I've seen. I think Bell's has their Christmas one they're releasing. A few other places, and it's like I'm just kind of getting into the Oktoberfest beer.
Right.
I didn't even look at the pumpkin really, but yet you guys are already pushing Christmas out here. I feel
like you can't put any Christmas thing out before Halloween. Come on.
Yeah, and I'm like just gonna throw that out there and just okay, we're ready for Christmas now. Like it's too early in my opinion. I mean, it's too early. You know, you don't even have like some of the big stouts really out yet. Even Thanksgiving. That's the time for like the Goose Island, like Bourbon County comes out. That's like when you get the Big Bad Baptist stuff from Epic. That's when you get all these other ones coming out. You're just going to jump ahead of the line on that. I feel like you're cutting line there. If you were like the soup Nazi, no soup for you. I mean, you'd have to get out. It's just too soon. Too soon.
No soup.
But I do like Christmas ales. I'm not ready for them yet.
Not at all. Like I don't. Maybe mid. I don't know. I don't even know what like. I'm not even sure you should do it before Thanksgiving, but I could see it. I mean, just because of time frames, you almost have to, I guess, nowadays. Yeah. Before Halloween? Come on, man.
But I mean, some people dig it. I mean, you can drink beer anytime you want to drink beer. Like I said, I'm not into pumpkin stuff right now, but some people, July, they were looking forward to getting a pumpkin. They already jumped into it.
That came out.
Yeah, that came out really early.
Was it in July?
Yeah, like end of July was a pumpkin. I started seeing pumpkins come
right.
out. Yeah. Southern Tier on them starting to drop their stuff on shelves.
I'm like, how you getting the pumpkin when it's still 135,000 degrees outside?
Yeah. And, I know, like I said, we were talking earlier about Oktoberfest on the other show, and I could drink like Oktoberfest probably year round, although I think of it as seasonal. So I mean, it's all about what you like, I guess, or that. But it just seems you're jumping out early before other stuff comes out. Like Thanksgiving, I would like to see some breweries release some nice brown ales because brown ales pair well with turkey. There's opportunity there for like some Thanksgiving type beers around brown ales that come. this brown ale with some cranberry adjunct or something like that.
Start the movement, right? I'll get behind that.
Yeah.
November is brown ale month.
It's like
Christmas bullshit.
I don't even have anything for my turkey. You're giving me something for the ham? Come on, man.
Yeah, right.
It's crazy.
Another Frank.
Here. They clap your hands after getting it shut off. Ho 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 beers, right? Yeah, Christmas. Why is there any Halloween ales? There should be. There should be some Halloween. You know, in Halloween, I feel like Halloween's a perfect season for ciders. I feel like ciders, if there was a holiday they could actually jump into, I feel like Halloween would be their holiday to do it.
Yeah.
You know, as a kid, when you grew up, you'd have apple cider at the Halloween parties, all that kind of stuff, and the bobbing for apples. And I feel like ciders for adults would be perfect time for them to have all kinds of festivities.
Well, who is the? There is somebody that comes out with who's that makes those ciders? They do make like a 4-pack of mixed cider pack that you can pick up around Halloween and beyond.
Is it Blake's hard cider?
No, it's not Blake's. Gosh dang it! Is it Angry Orchard maybe? No, I don't think it's. Gosh dang, I can't think of what the. I feel like they're. Is it Woodchuck? Is that the
Woodchuck's a cider. That's a cider.
Yeah, maybe it's Woodchuck that does that. I can't remember now.
How much cider could a woodchuck chuck?
Yeah. They had like an apple, and I think they did have kind of like a pumpkin flavored one, and like a kind of a Halloween type cider or whatever, like a fall type ciders and whatnot. I don't know,
It just seems like Halloween would be the perfect time for ciders. Actually,
you would think
if you're going to claim a time, that's a perfect time to do it. Speaking of Blake's in the house. Cheers, homie.
What's up, Blake?
I could drink Christmas ale all year long, big, ballsy, and full. Yeah, like I just wrote a blog piece this week about, why do you have to wait to the fall and winter for big ABV beers? I could drink them all year round too. So, yeah. It's just the idea of it being a Christmas beer. Like, I feel like it should be closer to Christmas. I mean, now big beer, yeah, no problem. Spiced hard cider, there you go. And Emerson says, challenge accepted. I need the perfect beer to pair with these motion pictures. Evil Dead 2, Porky's, All the Right Stuff, and Sophie's Choice. No Holds Barred. No Holds Barred was a movie too. That was a wrestling movie back with Zeus and Hulk Hogan too back in the day. But that's not part of the question. That's just saying no holds barred. So we'll have to come back to that one there. Let me see here. Yeah, I saw a case of Shiner Holiday Cheer at Supermarket the other day. Yeah, so Shiner's got their stuff hitting right now as well. Was that somebody just comment on the review I did of the Shiner pecan beer? That was a tasty beer. If you ever see that, should be coming out again. If you see that, you like pecan, definitely worth a try. Yeah, or pecan,
yeah.
I miss the old almond commercial back in the day. That was one of the funny Snickers almond commercial. Yeah, I like almond. I like almond. Spice hard cider. Muled hard cider. Yeah. Waiting on Nosferatu from Great Lakes. I think Nosferatu, unless I'm mistaken, I'm thinking that's like a February release usually. So that might be a few more months. But it's a great red ale, great Imperial red ale. And speaking of Great Lakes, I'll be cracking a Great Lakes beer here in a second too for you guys.
I feel like a lot of the red ales, don't they usually come out sometimes around Christmas time or so?
Well, that's like a bigger one for that one there.
Yeah.
So that one comes out a little bit more towards that winter season. But you have some that are out there that come out during the course of the year. Not all of them are big ones. So some of them are like 5-6% or so. I don't know. I feel weird taking COVID test tomorrow. I doubt I have it, but I feel one or two of the symptoms. Well, people still take them. If you think you might have it, I would take it because that's not something I would ever want to go through again. So,
James, are you feeling really tired?
Tired, yeah.
That seems to be the big one. At least it was.
I thought it was like the achy or sneezy or. kind of flu-like
I didn't-
type thing.
I didn't really have any aches and pains. I was just super tired for like 3 or 4 days, or 3
Yeah.
days, and then like I didn't feel bad. Like I mean, when we were up in Michigan and I had it, I still did stuff. I just didn't feel like I had any energy to do anything. And slept and slept and slept.
So Big Day today comes around Halloween. Okay, I was thinking it was over when they did like the other ones. Maybe I'm thinking of when they do the Lake Erie Monster and all that. It's in February or so. For the chill wave.
Isn't that one you're going to talk about here soon? And wasn't that Great Lakes also?
Yeah, I had a Great Lakes beer I'm going to crack open. I'll talk about it in a second.
Not you, but what I sent you earlier.
Which one? Oh, yeah, well, we were talking about the Christmas ale. Well, we talked about Great Lakes Christmas ale.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, we talked about Christmas ales coming out, but Great Lakes has their one coming out.
But that was the barrel aged one.
Yeah, they're doing the barrel aged. Is it like the anniversary type thing or something with the barrel aged?
Let's see what it said. Barrel aged Christmas sale, Great Lakes. It does.
Well, Ric Flair is like 76 years old now, Blake, too. So, yeah, Hulk Hogan versus Zeus and No Holds Barred was probably better. Although now I see Ric Flair on the, what's that auto commercial for the insurance they have?
It's not, is it Geico?
Not Geico, but like his Ice-T's does them.
Yeah.
Different
celebrities that are doing
something guard. Oh, shoot. What is that? The insurance.
Hang on. Ric Flair auto insurance.
Auto Shield, maybe?
Let's see. Progressive?
No, it's not Progressive.
Oh, Car Shield.
Car Shield, yeah.
Carshield.com. There you go.
So the latest commercial, they have Ric Flair joined the cast there now. So it's Ric Flair, Ice-T, Allen Iverson's in it. It's like all the old dudes are like in this one now. And I say old dudes because I'm old with them as well. But it's just funny because they're like all these older guys like from childhood watching this stuff too. Let's see. They said beer seasons are all out of whack. Oktoberfest, hard to find October. The holiday beers are replaced by spring beers when Christmas comes around, right? It's a different calendar that the breweries are using versus the calendar we use as individuals, I guess. But it does throw things out of whack there for sure. Well, we used to joke about that before, but now it's actually even almost more now, like worse kind of. It's just like, we used to joke about by the time you get Oktoberfest beer, you have Christmas beer out. That's what's happening now. So you're trying to have an Oktoberfest week and people are in Christmas sales. And then by the time you get to the Christmas sales, they'll be having the stuff going to come out for spring. So crazy.
It's a vicious cycle. Never ending.
So he said, I only have minor congestion, almost normal for me, and intestinal distress, which could be a stomach bug or food poisoning. Yeah. Yeah, Blake was trying to yell Car Shield. We were trying to leave the Car Shield. Car Shield! Like he's
It's coming to the screen.
Ric Flair smoked. I did see the Ric Flair and Mike Tyson smoking weed. So yeah, at the end of the run, people are gonna say Nature Boy had a nice life for the most part. So he lived it to the fullest. They'll probably put on his tombstone, like all the different stuff he did. Crazy. You see that WWE special they do on what is it, AMC or whatever, A&E, when they do the wrestling profiles. So yeah, they do one of Ric Flair, and it's just like, you probably should have died like in the 80s, like all the stuff you were doing. Like, yeah. But the Nature Boy, he kept it going. So,
I mean, how old is that dude? He looks.
I think he's like 76 now. I think he's in his 70s. Yeah.
Considering everything he's been through, he doesn't actually look that bad considering.
Well, yeah. I mean, of course, maybe he's hanging out with Keith Richards because Keith Richards is still acting like he had nothing going on. I mean, that guy. He's a hell lives with cockroaches.
All the stuff he's put his body through is like, this is amazing.
Cockroaches are like, we need some of that Keith Richards blood. Only thing that survives nuclear attack: cockroaches and Keith Richards.
I'm killing him.
Yeah. Yeah, JT said Dolphins quarterback went on a stretcher like a neck, back, or head injury.
Yeah, I couldn't tell what it was. It didn't look that bad, though. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter if your head just barely hits or not.
Yeah, it was Tua, Blake.
A certain way, yeah.
Well, his head barely hit last week, and they put him back in and weren't supposed to, I guess, from the protocol. So, if there's any chance of hitting it this time, I'm sure they're like not even thinking about putting him back in because apparently they escaped last week not getting fined or something.
They brought the stretcher out, and the whole team was circled around him. But I can't hear the TV, so I don't know what they actually said.
How do the Bengals white uniforms look on the TV?
They look pretty good.
Yeah, are you a fan of them, or
it's a whole whiteout too? So the whole stadium's white.
Yeah.
Except for the handful of Miami fans that's got their turquoise on or whatever color you can call that.
Yeah, we had a couple.
Yeah, they look pretty good. I like them. They look good.
I know they're color rush uniforms, so.
Yeah, I think I said before the game they were saying that they're allowed like 2 different uniforms throughout the year.
Yeah.
Tonight being their first one, I guess, of the 2 that they get to change.
Well, we know Oregon can never be a pro team as much uniforms they have.
What's that?
Oregon can never be a pro team as many uniforms as they always come up with.
Doubt. Yeah. I think they only wear one and then they throw it away. The next one.
Oh.
That's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Gives a woohoo, Tyson's weed. Yeah. It was a little bit of a lower woohoo when he was smoking Tyson's weed, I'm sure. The whole tiger look is one of the better color wash screens. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know people were pretty excited there. We had a couple people, I think, took off tomorrow because they were going to the game tonight in Cincinnati. And I know one of the guys took a half day because I know he was partying for the tailgate and stuff.
Yeah, it looks like I saw one of my buddies took his daughter to the game, but I guess he's a big Dolphins fan because he had his old Dan Marino jersey on.
Yeah.
Picture. So I was like, you know.
The good old Dolphins from back in the day with Dan Marino.
Yeah.
All right, so the next beer I'm going to crack open is one that I think I shared a post on or like that and everything, but it's one that's back now, and it had not been back for a while. So if you see it, get it because it will disappear on you because I'm sure a lot of places will sell out. But it is from Great Lakes, and it is their Blackout Stout. So this is one I picked up last week or whatever, when I did the last unboxing thing. And looking forward to drinking this. I already have a review of this up on the channel for when I had it before. So I won't be reviewing it again. I try to always only do one review. But I'm looking forward to seeing how this one actually tastes now. Comes in at 9.9% ABV. This one, best by 7:15 of 23, which again, I feel like you can go a little bit longer with this one as well, being an Imperial Stout. But that's what they want you to drink it by. And I'm going to go ahead and get this cracked open and see how they do here. 50 IBU, so right there at the 50 level. Nice little smoke off the lid there. Don't talk about smoke enough anymore. Like we used to talk about smokers. Joe D used to love some smoke.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Guess it's past its time now. Something else.
Yeah. The good old smoke.
Nice
Let's little head on that one there. And chocolate, rich chocolate, deep chocolate, sweetness. Not getting too much really off that, except off that chocolate type nose. Oh shit. That is silky smooth. silky smooth.
On a
I'm
scale
talking about
and
it just.
oh shit.
I had to force myself to stop on that first drink there. I mean, it just slides down the throat, velvety feel, just as good as I remember. Got the coffee notes in the background.
What was that one again?
The blackout stout.
Oh, the blackout side.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You have too many of these. Guess what's going to happen?
yeah, blackout. Yeah, blackout for sure coming ahead.
Oh, that is so tasty and smooth. It's got a creamy underlying base to it. So you don't have a lot of the carbonation ramped up. You get a nice feel of the malt. That's just pure goodness right there. That's all it is, pure goodness. Literally, I'm like halfway through the glass already. Like I'm not even trying to drink it fast. I'm going to be done with this thing here in a second. God, oh, this is fucking good.
And thanks for hanging out on the show. We're gonna have to turn it off because.
Oh man, good thing I got a half day tomorrow because I'm going to be tired by noon. That's good. That is really good. So, if you haven't checked out Great Lakes Blackout Stout, again, just got re-released. And I think the last time it came out might have been 3 or 4 years ago. Get it if you're a stout fan because
that is a good one.
Wickedly smooth. Wickedly.
I feel like
it's for the Boston people. Wicked.
I feel like that is like stouts, like the good big stouts always come out near like summertime or late summer.
What do you mean, the good big ones?
Yeah, like, I mean.
Well, they come out now, like right before you get into fall and
but
stuff.
They all,
yeah.
But it seems like, I mean, I know they're all year round. Like it doesn't really matter for them, for those.
Well, for like these, like some of the bigger stouts, they usually time around now. This is the beginning of fall, going into winter. A lot of the people that drink beer, they try to drink bigger beers in the wintertime.
Right,
I mean, we're kind of outliers, like me, you, Gilbert. You know, we'll drink stouts all year round,
right,
you know, big beers and stuff. But a lot of people like to get it in the winter when it's a little bit of a colder type feel, I guess. So it kind of warms them up a little bit more. That's why some of the beer festivals, some of the big imperial stout festivals will be around wintertime.
Right. I mean, I guess that's true. But it just seems like, I don't know, I guess when you think about it, Bourbon County's not until like Black Friday and ones don't come out until then, I guess. But it does seem like a lot of them come out in the summertime now.
Yeah. Well, you'll get some of the other ones that'll come out that'll be like your, you know, regular stouts, reporters like that and everything. That'll be 7-8% or something like that, maybe. So you have some that are out. I mean, you have some of the Bell stuff that'll be out there.
Of course, I guess with those two, though, you can, you know, if they do come out in June or whatever, you can sit on them for several months until, you know, until it does cool down or whatever. That's your thing.
Yeah, those are kind of interesting too, because sometimes you got to look at it because it might be June, but it might have came out in the winter beforehand because some of the stores may have them out there and stuff.
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely have to look on those for sure too. But if it's a big ABV, that really won't matter anyway. Really, for the most part, unless it's got a lot of
adjunct type stuff. Yeah. Oh, let me see here. JT, I think my Saints will be wearing black helmets in London. Oh, they played London this Sunday. The one thing about when you watch the NFL and it's in London, it's kind of nice if that's your team playing because as soon as you wake up, the game's on. You know what I mean? Well, at least for us on the East Coast, that's way. But when I would go to California, it was kind of nice on Saturdays because it was kind of like the games would already be on by the time you wake up out there.
Right.
Because it'd be 3 hours ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, the 1 o'clock game out there is actually the 4 o'clock game here.
Yeah.
And I guess our 1 o'clock game is actually their 11 o'clock game? Or 10 o'clock game?
Hey, your Arkansas Hogs, they might have a shot against Alabama. You never know. They got a good squad this year. Yeah, 2 concussions at short notice, not good at all. JT's drinking a Dovetail Saison, which is always nice.
So it was a concussion tonight. That's the only thing. That's the only thing it looked like his head didn't look like it bounced that hard, but once you already get that first one now.
Yeah, it's very good, homie. Ooh. Get a little bit of the booziness in it. But I like that chocolate. And you get the coffee feel. And kind of that, was it cocoa or cacao? More cocoa. More like cocoa nibs in that one.
Yeah.
Hey,
now you're making me want to go down and get a stout.
Big Daddy said, love the Black House. So, yeah, I mean, it's out now. Get it. Get it if you see it. Love Great Lakes Brewing. Great Lakes does such a great job with their beers.
Yeah, they are good.
Good seller beer. Indeed. Definitely a good seller. Heads up October National Rock Beer Month. Oh, well. I need to give you some more then. I need to be celebrating. Got Trez in the house. Cheers, Trez. Welcome back, homie. And hopefully you're doing well, my friend. Trez part of the membership crew. If you guys want to be a member, make sure you check that out there as well. Nice. We need to do some more stuff with that.
Oh, yeah.
Good drive by Miami to end the half. Only 2 down. They're down 2 points.
Yeah, they went for a 2-point conversion but failed right at the end of the half.
Oh, just to try to tie the game. Okay.
Yeah, West 7-6. Then Cincinnati scored, made it 14-6. Then Miami scored, made it 14-12, and then they went for 2 to tie it up and didn't get it.
Teddy Bridgewater, the Arrow Morale Reserve. Is Teddy Bridgewater on the Dolphins now?
Yeah, he's.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't realize it too either until today.
You know, it's kind of, it's his whole thing was kind of crazy because he had such a good thing going to Minnesota until he got injured there.
The bad thing is, he's still been fairly decent wherever he's, short time he's been in places since then.
These days, I worked in a brain surgeon's house, and he's one of the doctors that determined that ex-NFL players have concussion benefits, $500K for life, and said all of them pull out after they find out they can't drive again. Huh.
Damn.
Gilbert said, boozy is good. Yeah, we know you like the boozy for sure. What's up, Unadapted? Does Yeti Stout count as a pumpkin? Not unless they got a pumpkin flavor. I've never heard of them having one, but
me either.
If they did have a pumpkin flavor, that'd be kind of interesting.
I'm not even sure if we get the Yetis here anymore.
I know the POT dinked off the upright. So he did try to kick one, and then JT says, so maybe they had 2 field goals in.
Oh, I don't
touchdown,
know.
I guess.
I'm not watching. I just kind of.
Okay.
I thought maybe they kicked 2 field goals, so I guess that is what happened.
Yeah, Trez is working every time we're drinking. He's working over there on Thursday night. So.
I know. Working.
We'll have to have a night. Oh. We have to have a night when Trez is off so you can drink with us. Got to make them dollars, though. Chris Ben in the house. Cheers, Chris. Bridgewater was decent in Denver before he got injured. Yeah, he was. I mean, he's in Minnesota. He was doing well before that too.
He was
got
decent.
Injured. Yeah.
He was decent in New Orleans for that short time too.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely got skills. And just like, he's just overall pretty good kid too. I say kid, but he's adult. You're an NFL, you're an adult, but
You're right, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to call somebody like a 21-year-old is still not a kid.
Yeah. I mean, they do it all the time in college football, yeah.
Especially at our age, it's like, yeah, that's a kid.
That's a kid. I got socks older than you, kid.
Yeah, you're right, no doubt.
Dolphins had 2 field goals and 1 TD, missed the PAT. Yeah. Well, at least it's shaping up to be a pretty good game there. I saw the suit that Joe Burrow wore into the game, and I'm like, I mean, I've never been a style guru, but I'm kind of lost on that one there. But I guess that's what the young fellas like nowadays. So, of course, some of them lost when they started wearing kind of like some of the softer type shoes or whatever. Like, is that like what they're wearing nowadays?
So still left game with head and neck injuries, transported to University of Cincinnati Medical Center.
Oh, wow. Last city I had was a Mexican stout. And Unadapted said Then I've had zero pumpkin beers, yet Imperial Stouts have a pumpkin pride. Yet I don't necessarily agree, but that's what a beer record says. I get toffee. Yeah, I've had Yeti. I've never had them with a pumpkin profile. That's the thing with sometimes with the sites where people type in there, not everybody's an expert. So it's like, yeah, they're not known to be a pumpkin beer with them. That's why I was wondering if they had a pumpkin flavor or something that came out.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't know of one either. Not
Yeah.
intentionally, anyway.
Great beers from Yeti though. I do like the Yeti beers. So great beers from Great Divide there.
Great Divide, yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't. I don't think I haven't. Honestly, I haven't looked for them either. But I don't ever remember seeing them because I usually try to pick those up.
Yeah.
You know, from time to time, just because they are pretty good.
You can actually get Jungle Gyms. They usually get those in when you're up in Cincinnati area. At least they used to, unless anything's changed with distribution. They used to be pretty good.
Well, we used to get them here all the time, like all the Yeti stuff for sure, from Great Divide. But like I said, I haven't seen them for a while. To be honest with you, I don't know. Since the liquor store I used to get all my stuff from, since he sold it and another guy took over, I don't know the same kind of stuff that they used to. I kind of feel like I'm just stuck out on an island where I can't get a lot of good stuff anymore like it was able to get before.
Yeah, I forgot because you got that news story you were going to. The guy changed it up on stuff. So.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm about to find a new spot to go to.
And Chris said, Rob, what's the best Oktoberfest beer you've had this season? I've only had a few so far this season. I kind of got slow into Oktoberfest beers, but the one that I had that was the best, I don't know if I put the review up there yet. I may not have had, but it's from Zero Gravity from Burlington, Vermont. Their Oktoberfest, that was probably my favorite one I've had this year thus far. I did have one of the local ones here that was pretty tasty from Guilford Hall Brewery. They're basically here in Baltimore, a England style brewery. So you don't have like IPAs in there. You have all kinds of other stuff in there, but you do have British Pale Ale, but they do kind of everything based off of more of the beer design from out of England, which is pretty unique. And they actually had a good Oktoberfest beer this year. But Zero Gravity, I've had a couple of their beers now. I'm really kind of getting into them. They're doing some pretty good stuff out of Vermont.
Probably the best one I've had so far this year is the Inger.
That's always a good one, though.
Yeah,
that's always solid.
That's when we went a couple. What's it been? 2 or 3 weeks ago now, I guess probably. And they had they have a German American club like over in Louisville. So they just had all nothing. They had their Oktoberfest a couple weeks ago, and they just have like I don't know, 10 different taps outside.
Oh wow! Okay,
and
yeah.
Have all, and it's just all like German, like Inger. Yeah, German beers. So it was pretty cool. But they do it from like in the middle of July, or maybe at the beginning of July. I don't know, until probably October sometime.
Yeah, that's one thing I miss about not being in Cincinnati for Oktoberfest, because Inger comes over along with Weissenfender and some of the other German breweries. And it's just like, I don't even go to the American taps or Oktoberfest there. It's all to the German breweries. And you get to taste. And it's not just the Oktoberfest beers they bring, but they bring the other styles as well. So you get to really get a nice taste of some of the beers they're actually doing there. Now, where Gilbert's out in Canada, because of their tie with England, I'm sure he gets a lot of that stuff coming in over there a little bit more than we probably get. But yeah.
Right.
The Pack and the Bucks, what a great game. The Pack D show their promise, and the Ed Wiz package are great. Wait a minute, are they playing? When are they playing? They played last week, I guess.
Last.
Okay. Did the Packers beat the Buccaneers?
I forget who won that game. I think they did win that game.
I mean, if Gilbert's happy about it, I'm thinking they must have beat them. But I didn't hear anything about Brady losing the game yet.
Yeah, 14-12.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's their year this year.
I was thinking they did, but I didn't know what the score was offhand.
Yeah, I haven't found that one unadapted. I've got a couple places I just relocated to Baltimore here in January, and a couple of places that kind of get some pretty decent stuff in, but I've not seen anything like that. Now, closer to where Todd is, where I moved from in Cincinnati, my best bet would have been like a Jungle Gyms, which is huge, and getting some of those beers, but that's not something I actually had seen, and actually Gilbert said that's actually pretty rare too. So, but I love a good Doppelbock. That's another thing. Cincinnati in February, they have the Bock Fest every year, so they bring out all kinds of Bock beers, which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I haven't been to that either.
That's a fun one. They got the parade with the goats, and the people are dressed as monks and all that kind of stuff. And then they
when is that one? When's that?
That's usually towards the end of February. It's usually like a week before the Winter Beer Fest happens.
Oh, okay.
And the Bock Fest they have up there is usually high ABV box too. So you're pretty much going to get hammered. So if you look to go, make sure you get the hotel room early.
It happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a convenient place to stay anymore. Since
Maryland. I still need to come back anyway because I got to go back to Indiana at some point. Then we had to meet up and go to like Dark Lord Day. I got to get that. I got to go to Dark Lord Day at some point just to say I went. And I'm thinking next year, talk with Shannon. I'm thinking next year I might try to go to Great American Beer Fest. So I need to get that done as well.
Yeah, which I've not been to either one. Even I live in Indiana, I've not been to Dark Lord Day. But I've heard a lot of like so-called horror stories from there, like getting slobbered, and drunk, and can't stand up, and whatever, you know. It's like, ugh.
But I would love to like get you and get a crew together and go out to like Great American Beer Fest next year.
That's in Denver, right?
That's in Denver, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think you can. Oh yeah, I'm definitely doing for that.
Yeah. So
what's that? How many days that last?
I think the whole festival is like either Thursday or Friday through Sunday. So a few days.
I was thinking 3 or 4 days too.
Yeah.
That would be a really good time.
Yeah. I mean, there's beer, there's other things, but there's beer and other things. So we'll just leave it like that.
Mostly beer. But
mostly out in Denver.
Right.
You get Joe to come out there too, or get Eric, or get Joe D to come up maybe from Arizona, because I think he tries to get out there. So we'll probably get a pretty good crew.
We should really do that. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Because I think we can get like one of those I want to say economy grade. What are those flights where they like go round trip to Florida and stuff for like $99 or whatever?
Oh, like Southwest type thing, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
It's not even Southwest, but like what's that other one? It's like Southwest. You can probably do it pretty cheap too.
Yeah.
We get flights out of Louisville down to like Florida and back for like a round trip $99.
Oh shit, yeah.
But it's not Southwest. Who the hell? I can't think of the name of it now.
Oh, you're thinking of probably like JetBlue or somebody.
Yeah,
Frontier, like Frontier or something. Like,
yeah,
I'm not flying I feel like Frontier at some point you get put out in the wing or something. Like I'm nervous about this. If it's too cheap, I got questions.
They'd be like, "Well, you should have gotten on sooner, sorry."
Yeah.
It's the last spot. You gotta hang on.
Like, I think we lost the wheel. We don't need it.
Yeah, it's okay. What you get for $99?
Yeah. Or you get Spirit Airlines, and Spirit Airlines will get you there. We might not bring you back, but we'll get you there.
Right. No, but I think we actually can fly around trip in and out of Denver like fairly cheap from here.
You guys got a Southwest hub, and I think Denver has a Southwest hub.
Yeah, and I think it is on Southwest.
We have a Southwest hub here. Here's my problem with Southwest. The flight and everything was fine. The people were good. I don't like how the way it's set up for like the seating for Southwest. Like you have the thing, and everybody's just like you can't choose your assigned seat, and there's like really no first class with it.
No.
So you go by your priority and whatever row you're in, you can pay up for that, but you still have no guarantee. Like I don't want anybody in the middle seat next to me most of the time. So usually I'll go Delta and get first class or something.
Right.
But that's the only thing that I would have there. But seriously, next year, Great American Beer Fest, that's on my agenda right now. Just need to get it done.
That would be awesome.
Oh, I guarantee it. Like the Man's Warehouse, I guarantee it. Best Oktoberfest for me include Waddle by Off Color, Fest Beer by Maplewood, and Oktoberfest by Sketchbook, all Chicago breweries, he said. Off Color, everything I've had for them was always tasty. So you get no complaint from me. Einger's the shit, indeed. I've noticed way more lager styles in my local bottle shops here. Yeah, there's more of a push now for lagers at a lot of the breweries, so you probably do see it popping up more, I would think. And, I used to be more of an ale drinker, but I'm definitely getting more into the lagers now as well, especially when they can be specialized into the rock beer or into the Merzes or into the Keller beers or into some of the other ones that aren't just your American adjunct lager, right?
Right.
The other stuff out there opens up a whole new world of good things.
Yeah, it does seem like it's taking a step forward for sure.
Oh, I bet. A lot of obscure Doppelbocks out of Germany, Eric. Yeah, I mean, there's so many good stuff out of Germany there that I wouldn't be surprised by Doppelbocks. Funny that I went to a couple weeks ago. I caught up with one of my friends that lives out here in Baltimore. We finally went out to the Guinness Brewery, and that was actually a pretty good thing there. And the Guinness Brewery we have here in Baltimore is the only one in the States. Now in Chicago, where JT is and Big Daddy is, they'll be getting a new brew house or brew pub from them next year that will open up, hopefully by St. Patrick's Day, that they'll have out there. But being at the Guinness, it was kind of cool. They had a lot of small batch brewing, so I was able to sample different things that you don't get from Guinness, and they do some pretty good stuff there. So hopefully you guys enjoy that when they open up there. But if you're ever in the Baltimore area, definitely worth to stop by the Guinness. I would say it's a little more costly than other breweries, but then again, it's kind of like the Guinness name. It's kind of like if you buy a Nike, you're expecting to pay more for a Nike than you would be for some other type of maybe not as high ranked shoe or something like Puma or whatever it may be. So
I feel like that's probably the case for most breweries, especially. Well, I shouldn't say most, but most of the ones that like are wide distribution, like some of the bigger. I feel like some of their like brews that you can only get at the brewery are better than what they actually put in the stores.
Yeah, I mean that's almost the reason why you have to go out and experiment at breweries. Because
you're right.
You don't see stuff there. Like when I went out there, I had a flight of all small batch IPAs, and then I had another batch of other stuff that were malt forward, and you wouldn't have seen them anywhere because they don't put them out in the marketplace. Now you can buy them from the brewery canned and everything like that, but you can't buy them in the store. So, like one of the places we used to talk about is Listerman, right? Like Listerman puts stuff out in the store, but when you go to Listerman Brewery, you have so many different things that aren't even being canned, and it's just like they're all freaking delicious.
Right.
So that's why it's like important to try to, even though I drink more at home than I do at a brewery, it's always nice to get out there and try to see breweries because you're going to find new stuff you may not have seen.
The Sun King always comes to mind for me, being out of Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
A couple times I've been in their brewery, and several times, but several times I've had them at like Beer Fest or whatever. Like the stuff they bring to Beer Fest, stuff you get to breweries, 100 times better than what you can get in their, as their distribution style beers. I'm like, this is stuff you should be distributing. It's like, why are you giving me this other stuff? I don't want that. I want the good stuff. But I'm sure that's just, once a month type or once a year type thing or whatever,
Yeah.
You can get it certain times or whatever.
And then Dak said I compared the Augustiner to the Paulaner Salvatore. Oh, that's a good beer to compare to with the fuller mouth body feel. Always grab extra because my spots are hit and miss with availability. Highly recommend. Yeah, when you find something that's good, you got to stock it up if you can, right? So that way you'll have it on hand because you end up missing if you don't. That's like the worst thing. Like I've seen beers and it's like, it's like, do I get it now? Do I get a 4-pack? Do I get it? It's like, if I get it now and I like it and I don't get it, I'll be upset when I come back and it's not here anymore. So it's always like weighing those options. But like the Blackout Stout, I just grabbed a 4-pack of it, like because I knew I wanted to hold that for a bit. So
yeah, that was a good one. I'm gonna have to look for that one.
Yeah, if I didn't have enough beers already here, I would have definitely got more than just a 1 4-pack. But I still got so many beers to get through that are some of the bigger seller beers, right? Like the Big Bad Baptist stuff, the Bourbon County stuff. I still got Bourbon County stuff, and I haven't even touched from the last couple years. And
3 years ago.
Yeah, it is just like, I need to get into some of these other things, and it's always like, I finally picked up, for instance, like I'll grab stuff that I haven't tried. Like I just got the Sierra Nevada. For whatever reason, I'll do this review this weekend, the Sierra Nevada Atomic Torpedo. I never did a review on it. So I grabbed a can of it. But I'll grab cans like that might be more IPA stuff. And it's like, I got to do those now. And I never get to the stuff in the back. It's like, sorry, guys, I'm doing this one now.
Right, right.
It's like, you didn't even know that beer before you picked it up. We've been here all this time and you want to not, drink us? Like, yeah, I'll get you guys later, So,
oops. Sorry.
Yeah. You guys are good. You guys can hang out.
Yeah, just chill for a little bit longer.
Yeah. Tommy Torpedo's like bitches. Yeah. So always love a good Dunkel, Doppelbox, or Eisbach. Probably makes my favorite Dunkel. Nice. Yeah. I agree with all those. I love a good Dunkel. I love the dark malts that are used for that. Big Daddy switched it up to ham, so he keeps hams on hand just in case he needs some. Can't beat a ham's bargain, right? What's the 30-pack go for now? 14, 13? Might be up with a little bit of inflation. It might be up.
True. I'm going to say here anyway, like, I don't know. Last time I actually probably got some was probably like $15.99 maybe for a 30-pack.
Yeah.
Might not even been that much, to be honest with you. I don't remember exactly, but...
My favorite find for this summer has been the St. Bernardus Tokyo Watu Wit. You guys have a chance to try that one of the most refreshing beers I've had. No, but I love a nice wit beer. And St. Bernardus, you're not going to go wrong with them. So
right, yeah.
I'll have to keep an eye out for that one.
So I'm drinking a Firestone Hypnosis IPA.
Ooh, the Hypnosis. Oops, wrong one. Hypnosis. Why didn't it switch to the other one? Hold on. Oh, there we go. My producer skills are still growing. I haven't seen that one out there. I am seeing more Firestone now that I'm in Baltimore, though, which is weird because they're across the country and I didn't get as much as Cincinnati, but now I get more here when I'm in Baltimore. Yeah.
They just flew past you and dropped in Baltimore.
That's the distribution level we live with in the States. Yeah.
Right. Well, I was thinking it was like Joe was getting something out of what was he was getting. And I was like, "You get those there?" He's like, "Yeah, I get those." I was like, well, if you get one, pick one up for me because they're out of St. Louis, but I can't remember what the stout was.
Was it Shafley or something?
No, it wasn't Shafley. It was one of the might have been Four Hands or something. I can't remember what the brew. I don't even remember what the beer was now exactly, but I always heard the stouts were phenomenal. And he was like, "Oh yeah, we get them here every now and again." I'm like, really? We don't even get them. We're like 3.5 hours from St. Louis. Like, I don't even get none of their beers here. He's like, "Oh, if I see one, I'll get one for you." He's like, "They're not cheap, but I'm like, well, I'll Venmo the money to you. I don't care about that. Just send me one if you can." But
yeah.
Get them. Once I drive to St. Louis.
Joe checking your credit. Like, I'm good for it. Just get it for me, damn it.
He's like, no. He said, "We'll trade for it." I was like, "No, I'll send you the money. I just want one." But he never did see him again, I don't think. I think it was kind of one of those deals where he just got them.
Yeah.
Periodically, or just a random kind of showed up in his area or whatever.
Oh, Eric's still doing Unibrew. Terrible quad, son. Nice.
Can't go wrong with their
solid beers.
Oh.
Agree there, Big Daddy. Did you guys switch chairs, or am I slipping a dimension after all? No, I just moved the screen around. So, hey, a new study came out, and if you drink at least 2 beers a day, it helps to keep off dementia. So, you know what you got to do, JT. You know what you got to do. So, yeah.
I need to drink more beers, what I'm hearing.
Yeah, this new thing they have with StreamYard, you can move some shit around and stuff, too. They're trying to keep it steadily improving on things. So, but since Todd cracked one open, I'm going to crack one open. And you know what? Let's keep it rolling on the stout train, right? So this one is one I picked up that is the newest edition, if you haven't picked it up as of yet. And it is going to be from here in Baltimore, and it's going to be from DeClaw, and it is their newest Patriarchy, the Vietnamese style coffee stout. So 8.5% ABV on this one here. Yeah, buddy. So yeah, I grabbed this. I like to check out the Patriarchy series.
That's what I was going to say too. I always like to pick one of those up just when I see them.
And I had a friend that got them, and I'm like, I need to keep an eye on that. Then I saw it, and it was like the last 4-pack there, so I just grabbed the 4-pack.
Don't mind if I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really wanting to stop, but I was too lazy to walk downstairs to get one because I already brought one up with me before. I was like, I'll just drink an IPA, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess this is actually one of the lighter beers I have because I was thinking about drinking the barley one I had there, and that was a 12%. And I had another one that was like 11.5, and I'm like, you know what? I do have to technically work tomorrow, so I should be somewhat alert. So let me go and grab this one here at 8.5. Session ale, people. Session ale.
Good enough.
Oh, let me see. JT says, cheers, guys. Switch to a Dovetail Pilsner. I wish this was one of their regular beers. Yeah. So JT, for those of you watching, he is actually in Chicago where Dovetail is, and Dovetail does a lot of great beers. So I'm surprised they don't have a Pilsner that's just part of their regular rotation because it seems like that would be perfect for them. And Big Daddy's also in Chicago.
You would think that would be.
Yeah. And speaking of Chicago, No Hop Butcher opened up now, their spot there, I guess, too. So I'm sure they're doing kind of crazy up there.
You would think that would be like a main beer type of most breweries, like for your non-traditional craft beer drinkers.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You know, just like a standard Pilsner or something not so even like a Hefeweizen, even though it's kind of a little bit different than, you know, your main like Pilsner or whatever.
Right.
Like, you know, it should just have something that most people would get behind, even though it's not, you know.
Well, you think a Pilsner is just a nice, easy drinking lager that's anybody could pretty much drink and enjoy for the most part.
Right.
You know. But Dovetail makes some good beers. I think it was Dave that sent me some from Beer in Front that I had previously a couple, and they're pretty decent. And when I'm back in Chicago, if I'm back in Chicago at some point, it was easier when I was in Cincinnati. Definitely want to try to check them out with some of the other breweries up there. But Chicago has so many good breweries; it's just hard to find the time to get to them all.
Yeah,
that's why, like I said, that's why I go to like the restaurants, like where me and JT met up. I always talk about that place. It was Exchequer, I think, where we met up, and they have like a tap of 20, 25 taps, and they have a nice selection of local beers. So you can always go in there and get a nice roundabout feel of the beers without having to go to all the different breweries. And the food is
that makes sense.
Yeah, and the food is freaking
one-stop shop.
Delicious. And of course in Chicago, I don't even know there's an off season of not bulking up because everything in Chicago, they always have big portions. When you walk into a place and the rack of ribs is hanging off of somebody's plate, you know you're in the right spot.
Like, well, you got to bulk up for the winter. Like, yeah, I'm still trying to work off last winter's bulk up.
You meet a restaurant and you order a full rack of ribs and it doesn't even cover the plate. You're like, I thought it was a full rack. And like, it is a full rack.
Yeah.
Like, for what? For who? Like, if I want a full rack, I want it hanging over the edge, son.
You're right.
Let's see, La Fin de Loup. Dovetail is what they call their four core: the Hell's Lager, the Vienna Lager, Hefeweizen, and Kolsch. So they do have the Hefeweizen. Other styles are rotated either ale or semi-ale. Yeah, it's funny just because I would think a Pilsner would be a lager you would want to have on hand to have. Right. But having the Vienna Lager, not too bad off the Pilsner. So you do have that available. And the Kolsch, nice, easy drinker as well.
I was going to say, yeah,
Kolsch
yeah, that'd be another good one. Like, could be a mainstay for breweries, just for your average, you know, beer drinker or whatever.
Yeah, I can't blame them for that kind of lineup. I mean, that's a nice core to have. You can pretty much anybody can find something on there to enjoy.
And I know I say that because there's nights, which we don't go there quite as often as we did when we went to Our Lady. And they had different various events going on, cornhole or whatever. And the bar, and they were just buying like 16 ounces of Bud Light or Miller Light or whatever. And I'm like, you're totally missing out if you don't, just sell your regular like cooler or your regular lagers or something easy drinking for guys that aren't used to that kind of.
Right.
Your Bud Light drinkers or macro drinkers, I guess you should say.
Yeah, you got to have a spectrum that can cover the different bases as best possible. So you want like an easy drinking type thing. It's like if I was setting up a bar, like I would have a nice easy drinking lager. Some bars you go into and it's like 4 or 5 IPAs, and it's just like you don't have to have as many of those out there as well. You have to have, you have a lager, you have a porter, you might have a stout, you have an IPA, something like a half of ice, something to give a nice feel for the different palates that are going to come into the experience.
I feel like you should have, if you want your mainstay beers, have like your 4 or 5 taps of like your main, like I said, Hefeweizens, your lager, your IPA, have a stout, and then you do 3 or 4 others that's just rotating. That's where you do your like specialty type. Get it maybe more of a smaller barrel type thing or whatever. Like, get it while it's here. You might be gone in 2 weeks or whatever, and on to something else.
Yeah,
may not bring it back. Depends on how well or how quick it sells out. But we always got the other 5 or 6 beers that are always going to be here, and we're just going to, churn those out all the time, just refill.
Yeah. It's funny. I started talking about rack of ribs. Rick shows up. What up, Rick? Rick's in the house.
What's up, Rick?
Yeah, I don't know Rick's channel. Make sure you check Rick out. Rick doing the barbecue and stuff. Yeah. I was talking about a rack of ribs at one of the spots up there in Chicago, but I guess the ribs in Chicago versus the ribs in Texas might be a little bit different, right? Like, it's funny, like the whole thing around who has the best barbecue, and there's people in Texas make it a certain way. Then you got people in Kansas City make it a certain way. People in Charlotte make it a certain way. So I'm like, I'm just there to eat. So I'm not going to get into the competition aspect. I like them all. So, but a nice stout with a nice rack of ribs with a nice glaze on it. I think that would actually make a nice little pairing too. That
like I'm an equal opportunist.
Yeah.
I made ribs. I smoked a rack of ribs, 2 rack of ribs actually, a couple 2 or 3 weeks ago, probably.
Yeah. That's probably one of the things.
Pretty damn tasty, I have to say.
I would imagine so. That's one of the things being here now where we're at. I don't get to grill because we're in an apartment and stuff, so I don't have to grill anymore. But being able to have that nice grill out there and do stuff is always fun. Paul did a review of Terrible recently too. So Paul, PA Brew News. If you ever check him out. But he did a review of the Terrible that Gilbert was referring to. TGS was smoking. And Texas is the best county on the planet. No, he said country now. He said country.
I was going to say,
I mean, that'd be a big county if that's just the county of Texas. But, different people had a different thing. Now, it was funny. When I went to Houston years ago, I went down to visit some of my advisors. I took them out to lunch, and I was like, where do you want to go to? When I was setting it up, and I didn't really know anything, so I picked this place to go to for a barbecue place to set up the meeting. And they told me it was like one of the best barbecue places. Actually, they did it. They're like, how did you find this thing? I'm like, I don't know. I just figured it was something close to the office. Well, this place was like a popular place, and it was like one of those places you walk into. And I wasn't sure if it was going to work at first, but they were happy with it. You walk in, it's like they give you a tray, and you walk up to the line. It's like a cafeteria type thing. And you're like, that, and they put on there. I mean, this was some of the best barbecue. They're like, this place. It was by the time we were done lunch. I mean, this place was packed. Like people loved this place. So the Texas barbecue.
It's one of the places you see on the Food Network.
Yeah, and it was like I liked into choosing a good spot, but it was damn tasty too. So
he's saying that made me think of like Vegas vacation. Give me some of the blue stuff.
Yeah.
On his plate.
Well, the funny thing is, like, we take these advisors out, and we're like, there's like a way that we try to present, like, in what I would do when I was doing that job. So we basically had suits on, right? So it's like you can't get sloppy barbecue when you got a full
Right.
suit on, right? But it's like, you don't want to pass up the opportunity either. So it's kind of like we were probably the most delicate eaters in there, like on how not to get stuff on our
Like
suits.
I'm just gonna
Yeah.
take my chances.
Yeah. Like at some point you got to pick up the rib. You can't use a fork and knife on the rib. You got to pick it up. You just got to pick it up.
Right.
So yeah, it's like, you know.
You can't.
So you ever see anybody try to cut a slice of pizza in New York? Just slap them. Like, just pick up the pizza. You know, you can't cut that. You have to pick it up and fold it. So, yeah. Because people will try to cut it. It's like, no, you're killing us, son.
Yeah, like you're doing it all wrong.
Yeah. You ever said ribs are just good? I agree, Gilbert. Yeah.
Yes.
Especially in Texas, some of the beef ribs out there are awesome. You say about Texas, it doesn't matter which establishment you're at, big name, no name, there's a very good chance it's going to be many. I agree.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You know, I joked about Chicago and their portions. So Texas, they're not slouching either. They give you some pretty good sized portions there as well for the stuff you're going to actually taste, and some of the stuff they have there with the ribs, the corn on the cob, the coleslaw is probably the one thing that's kind of a little different depending on where you're at. So there's I think in Texas it's a little bit more of a sweet coleslaw versus like say Carolina where it's more of a vinegary type coleslaw. Are you a fan of either one? Like, is there one you prefer more than the other, like the vinegary based or the sweet?
To be honest, I'm not a huge fan of coleslaw to begin with.
Are you American?
I know.
No, I was just messing with you.
I don't know. I don't like it that much, but I don't hate it either, if that makes sense. Like I usually don't eat it for the most part.
But you like macaroni and cheese?
Well, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, we're good then. We're good. All right. Just checking.
I work with somebody at work that they don't even like bacon. I'm like, are you American?
Oh my God.
Like bacon.
We can't be friends.
Right. I don't even know what your name is right now.
They need to fire this dude. I don't even know what he's talking about over here. I think he's a Russian spy. Get rid of him.
You're right. Ties be good. Just be done with it.
I always love some bacon.
The coleslaw, yeah. Much I don't know. I'm kind of a picky eater, I guess you could say. I don't know.
I think we all are at some point. Like we like certain things certain way.
But coleslaw is one of those I just never really got behind that much on.
But Rick said the only place for coleslaw was on a pulled pork sandwich. So Rick's not, I guess, huge on the coleslaw, but pulled pork, my wife, she likes it on pulled pork. I don't usually put coleslaw as much on pulled pork. I do it once in a while. But then again, it depends what type of coleslaw you're doing. Is it the vinegary type one or the sweet one? So there's different types there. So
right.
But I'll have coleslaw on the side next to some baked beans or some stuff too. Doing well. It's been a while. So are you still down in Texas then? I know you said you've been moving the last couple of months. Still want to do the collab with you. But yeah, we got to still get that done because I want to do whoop, the dog's gotta go out. I want to do I definitely want to do that special with you, and we're going to talk barbecue and beer pairing and different type of things. So yeah, let me know when you get freed up for that for sure, homie. With Todd, not a fan of coleslaw. Ever tried barbecue turkey in Texas? Holy smokes. I've had barbecue turkey, not in Texas, but when I was in Kentucky, went to a place that barbecue turkey. And I was actually surprised because I'm not a huge turkey fan, but it was really pretty damn good.
Now, Shannon likes coleslaw. What would you prefer, coleslaw-wise?
Like the creamy or the vinegar?
I thought you did. Is that your brother likes it a lot?
I mean, it's okay. I don't hate it.
Well, I didn't know, like vinegar type or like sweeter type or whatever.
Sweeter type.
Like a sweeter type.
Sweeter type, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Big Daddy, he's a creamy coleslaw kind of person. That's a sweeter type as well. Yeah. My wife, she's more vinegary type. I mean, I like more the cream type. I don't know if many people do this out there, but like when I went to school in West Virginia, one of the hot dog shops I got into was they used to put coleslaw on the hot dogs. First time I saw it was in West Virginia.
Really?
And it was like the sweet base one. Let me tell you, it works. It works. Good? Yeah, it's pretty damn good. So they put hot slaw on there with a little coleslaw with a little bit of mustard, ketchup, whatever you want, onion, and it's a nice topping. I'm just saying.
I will say when we did our beer thing the other night, the thing they served since it was their Oktoberfest, they did a bratwurst, and it had cream cheese, like a pepper relish or something on it. A jam, like a pepper jam or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then like a fried onion strips on top of it, or whatever, onion crisps or whatever we call them.
Interesting.
And it was really good. It was really good.
It's the East Coast skill not getting fresh pepperoni oil dripping down. All right, it's like, so you sure? Yeah, you got to fold it and hold it. Fold it and hold it. Right, that's the key. That's the key.
If you're gonna go from your elbow to your elbow, you're not, or from your wrist to your elbow, you're not doing it right.
but you want that grease and play for sure in the Northeast style. Yeah. So Rick said hot dogs. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, West Virginia, I think, was really the only state that I saw where they have like coleslaw as a topping on the hot dogs, and it worked. You know, it was more the sweeter coleslaw, but it definitely worked on the hot dog. So, pretty tasty there. Paul's in the house. PA Brews say no to pumpkin beer. So make sure to check out Paul as well. And that's who Gilbert is talking about. I just did a review on the terrible beer. So, what is happening, homie? Great to have you, brother. And Paul, PA Brew News, was actually one of the, if you listen to the podcast, his channel was one of the channels I gave as a recommendation of the week on the podcast for YouTube. So make sure you check him out. Paul is how Paul was not over the number, I have no idea, but he's approaching the 1,000.
I know.
So if you haven't checked out Paul, check him out, sub to him so you can hit that 1,000 mark and get over that hump.
Makes no sense whatsoever.
It makes no sense whatsoever.
No, not at all.
I think it's the man holding him down. So on the pumpkin poll, 70% now. Big number. Have not had a pumpkin beer yet this year. Yeah, so that's huge. 26 for the 1 to 4. I still think the person that said over 12 was just out there pulling my leg, but it's like basically a 4%.
Yeah, it's like, why not?
Yeah, somebody's got to choose that one, right? Yeah.
Let's just see where we take this one. That's what that one's all about.
Yeah, it's probably the same person lined up for the pumpkin spice at Starbucks. Good vinegar slaw. See, Gilbert's vinegar slaw with the Reuben dog or patty melt. Yeah. So, vinegar and creamy. Cheers to the oil balls. Yeah. Cheers all. No, I think cheers all. Sounds like West Coast skill of eating tacos while standing and not letting the meat spill on the back. Pretty similar, I would think. To hold that taco together and not let it spill out.
You're right.
Yeah. Now I haven't had taco in a long time.
You should just let the grease just drip down.
A few weeks back, I had, for the first time ever, and I was kind of a little upset. Nobody ever told me this thing existed, but I had a taco that was done with pork belly.
Ooh.
And this thing was fucking delicious.
Oh,
I'm like,
I bet.
How long have we been making these? No one ever sent me the memo. I didn't know pork belly was on the menu. I got ground beef. I got chicken. I got steak. No one ever told me pork belly was out here. Oh my God. It was freaking tasty as hell. Yeah.
We have a restaurant over in Louisville. They had, still to this day, it's one of the best burgers I've had. It was a burger, whatever kind of cheese on it, dressing if you want it, whatever. And pork belly. It was like 3 big old slices of pork belly. And I was like, oh, this is so good. Like, eat my hands all up, all the way. Like, you stop. I'm like, no, it's so good. Like, it's just dripping. I don't even care. It's so good.
Pork belly is so tasty. It's like a gift from the gods. I mean, it's just like nachos. Can we put pork belly on it? Like what can we do with that, right? So, yeah. But the pork belly tacos were phenomenal.
I bet that was.
Fold in the hold in. You talking about what? Yeah. Well, what are we folding the hold in there, Rick? I mean, that can work too, I guess.
That can go.
Yeah. Fold in the hold and put that on a t-shirt. Always, homie, always. Keep crushing it, brother. John 9, I saw Ramsey in a few. Oh, yeah, I saw you had a post about that. That was pretty awesome, JJ.
Right back.
Oh, yeah, pork belly tacos. You need to check out my channel. Yeah, so again, Another great reason to check out Rick. He's got the pork belly tacos. And let me tell you, if you haven't had a pork belly taco, and obviously if you're a fan of pork, you need to actually try some because the ones I had were pretty damn tasty. Highly recommend. Now, the place I had them at isn't here where I'm at now, but if I find some other places locally that have it, I would definitely check them out. Mixed pack and drink all the Raffman ale making dinner. 6 beers deep. You haven't had any whiskey tonight, though, Gilbert. You got all beer going on, it seems. But you're feeling nice, I'm sure. Nice. Next, try tongue tacos. Serious tongue tacos? Like cow tongue? I didn't know there was like tongue tacos out there. I know people that eat like cow tongue and different stuff that have been at restaurants. Emerald at Dolphins. Oh, now 15-14. Aiming for that 17-0 Caesar. Did the Dolphins not lose yet this year?
No, they're 3-0.
Oh, okay. Well, they got a ways to go for 17-0. Yeah.
I think they're undefeated, and one other team I think is undefeated still.
Pork belly smoked like a brisket is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I bet it is. I bet it is. God. Damn, Rick, you're making me hungry now. Shit. I can't be 7 midnight snack. You're going to kill my fitness program, son.
Yeah. That's always next week.
Yeah. Be sitting here on DoorDash at 12 in the morning. I need pork belly tacos delivered. Yes. Gilbert, out of whiskey? How's that happen? How do you run out of whiskey? I don't know. How's that happen? Yeah, real Mexican food is a wild variety. Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, it's not like, it's funny when like I think sometimes when Americans go to Mexico and they try to order like stuff like it's kind of like American stuff. Like we don't really serve that here. Like,
yeah, right.
Yeah.
What is that? Come again?
I had a friend who I used to work. I used to work with her friend. She was Mexican American. She was dating a guy one time. She was telling us when the guy met her family that they were like, "Oh yeah, what do you think about like Mexican food, all kind of stuff?" He said, "Oh, I love Mexican food." He's like, "Chi-Chi's my favorite place," and the family all laughed at the guy like, "That's not Mexican."
Yeah.
Poor guy was shattered. Like he thought it was Mexican. Like no, like who the fucking chilito is? Yeah. Beef tongue. Okay, grow some hair on your shaft. Is that what it'll do? Okay. But those need to shave it off later, right? So, not looking for extra work.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, just had a bourbon barrel, a triple box from Trogs from Hershey, PA. Pretty damn good, but it was a bit thin. Imagine that, a bit thin. I'll have to take a look for that now that I'm back over here. And I got to meet Paul at some point because Paul is a couple hours or so from me now since I'm over this side. So we had to get something set up too.
I want to know, has Paul ever drank anything that's not been just a tad too thin for him?
Outside of human blood, I don't think so.
Very true. Good point.
But Paul, I was telling Todd, I think next year is the year I'm going to try to see about people trying to go down to the Great American Beer Festival. So if interested, let me know as well. I'll try to get something set up. Best way to run out of whiskey is to drink it all. Yeah. It's recycling. Yeah. Just had a bourbon barrel aged triple box for Trogs Brewing Company from Hershey, PA. Oh, wait a minute. Why did I go backwards? Why did my thing go backwards? What the hell? Beer and meat is my fitness program. Yeah, well, and even your meat isn't always well done as well, or meat or medium well or whatever. It's just like, oh, it's been in the pan for a second. It's good. So
mine too, Paul. Mine too.
Terrible, isn't it? Thin? Yeah. So PA Brew News did the review of the Unibrew. Terrible. So make sure to check that out there. Cecil's Tacos Unadapted Brains. Step it up. Tastes like scrambled eggs. I've never had brains. Man, this is like getting back to like, this is getting into some Faces of Death stuff that was back in the 80s when they beat the monkey up and ate the monkey brain. Like, I don't know. I wanted to draw a line somewhere.
Like, maybe if I didn't know that's what it was, but I'm not doing it on purpose.
at some point, one of y'all going to throw up chitlin tacos, and I'm going to tell you, hell no. So that's not going to happen.
Talking about stink from shit ever.
Yeah, like no, that is not going to happen here. Not sure if you saw about a case of 2007 beer. Is it the 7th beer from Boulder Brewing Company brought? Good American Beer Festival. It's interesting. Oh, really? No, I didn't see that. I'm afraid I need to be absolutely wasted for that, right? At least. I'm talking about wasted like freaking Leonardo DiCaprio in The Wolf of Wall Street, crawling down the club, down the club steps, trying to get in the car, type wasted. Like,
sure your name, where you live, what state you're in.
So the washing machine is affecting the internet. Interesting. Well, you know, Skynet has to start somewhere. So we keep building all this AI stuff out there. At some point, the computers are going to be like, humans are probably the worst thing for the planet. We should take them out. Yeah. Don't make AI too smart.
What's that? Overdrive.
Maximum Overdrive. Yeah.
Everything.
Great movie. There's a great movie. That's a classic right there. AC/DC soundtrack. 25th year beer from Boulder Brewing, 2007 Great American Beer Fest. Okay. Tripa tacos are delicious. Intestines. See, now you're trying to switch it up. I know that's chitlins. I know it is. I know you're trying to switch it up, Rick. You're not going to fool me with that, son.
Yeah, wordplay. It's all about wordplay.
Oh, it's not chitlins. It's intestines. It's the goddamn same thing. It's the same thing.
It's the same, but kind of different. Not really. No, it's not.
Taco place on me has brain tacos, Big Daddy said. Interesting. Creamy and sits on the tongue.
Yeah, I bet it does.
Where are we going with these recipes right now?
I feel like that's what she said, kind of thing.
It makes you smarter. All I'm saying is pork belly. That's all I'm saying. I'm not doing these intestines. Yeah.
No intestines, no brains, didn't even none of that. Like,
stomach, yeah. My buddy ate those tacos for a week straight and loved them until he found out it was brains. Oh, then it switched, right?
Yeah. Whenever my house feels so good. We ate those like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, but it's still like lingering effects.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't make you smarter though. Like getting more brains in you, does it make you smarter? Maybe.
I think that happens with Rocky Mountain oysters. Oh, I love these meatballs. Oh yeah, the Rocky Mountain oysters. Oh, what are those? What?
Wait, what? Yeah. Balls? What do you mean they're balls?
You fed me bull scrotum? Son of a bitch. Yeah. Always trying to connect with my network, going to the oh yeah. Well, with those smart machines nowadays. That's what she said.
Yeah. I was gonna say that was
then you showed me. I started talking about weird food. Yeah. Well, I tried to stay in the pork belly, but everybody else started getting everything else. Don't let these lion tigers in the chat, but you forget to try the tongue. It's the best taco meat, 100%. I've actually had friends that have liked tongue that they've had before. I just never had it. I'm not saying I wouldn't try it. It's just I haven't had it yet. But one of the ones that were interesting when I had years ago was like ostrich burger. That was really good. That was like something different. So
we had a neighbor that used to love tongue, but it looked like it was always so freaking tough to me. Like, I don't know. It didn't seem like it was that. Yeah, just never mind. Yeah, I wouldn't.
So when you saw the tongue, was it like just the tongue, or was it like not cut up or anything, or filleted,
like
or
a whole like tongue just put on the grill?
What do you carve it like a turkey or something?
Just slice it like a steak. He just sliced like I was like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I don't want to try that. No, but if I didn't see you actually cook it and cut it, like I would have been like, no, okay, yeah, I'll try it. But also the same guy that had the Rocky Mountain oysters from too, and those were actually fairly decent, even though I knew what they were.
I mean, it's all protein, so
yeah, right. Yeah. There's something about seeing the taste buds on them or something, like the dimples in the tongue and it's like the whole thing is just kind of like, no, I think I'll pass.
Yeah.
I'll pass on that.
But we never did go back to Emerson's question, right? So I almost forgot. So need the perfect beer to pair with these motion pictures. Evil Dead 2, which I think Evil Dead 2 is the guy that played Briscoe County, right? Like he's fighting the zombies or whatever. Porky's, All the Right Stuff, and Sophie's Choice. So let me see.
Perfect beer.
Evil Dead 2. I am going to pair Arrogant Bastard. Porky's. I am. Ooh, that's a good one. Porky's. Trying to think on that one.
I don't know. I would think of Evil Dead 2 as like a stout of some sort.
Well, Arrogant Bastard would be a strong ale.
Yeah.
That I would have for that. Porky's is a lighthearted, fun type movie. All right, so Porky's, I will do an Oberon. All the Right Stuff. That's with the astronauts going up. The Sophie's Choice is Jack Nicholson with what's it called? That's kind of more of a classic type thing. So I know with the Sophie's Choice, I'd probably do. I want to say one of the Duvel beers. Just trying to think of what. You know what? With Sophie's Choice, I'll do a Chimay Blue with Sophie's Choice. And then with All the Right Stuff. Oh, I switched my screen there. How did my screen go? There it goes. That's kind of like an experimental type thing. So I kind of want it to be like an experimental type beer. And I'm almost thinking something like, most people wouldn't know this, but I'm thinking like a Rheingeist type beer that I just had from them. I can't remember the name of it was, though.
I was thinking like Listerman for All the Right Stuff. It was more of like an experimental, which most people wouldn't get any either. So
I'm gonna do a Rheingeist Striker. That's our double IPA.
Striker.
Yeah, for All the Right Stuff.
So I wouldn't know like specific. I don't know if I could pinpoint it down to like a specific beer for those movies. Maybe a style, but I don't know if like a specific beer from a certain company or something.
I'm just thinking of what flashes in my head when I think of the movie, and I think of like Arrogant Bastard, just from like the strong ale, and then the whole idea of fighting the zombies for Evil Dead. That's why I think of that.
Yeah,
and then Porky's, I think of the lighthearted fun. I think of the light feel that you get and the overall feel of the Oberon, and All the Right Stuff. With the whole Striker. Yeah, unless you're Joe, right? And the Sophie's Choice being just a classic type movie, I think of the Chimay Blue there. So
there you go.
Yeah.
I really don't have anything.
Todd's 3 sheets to the win right now. He's like, ah.
No, I'd say like I couldn't pinpoint to like a specific type of beer, but like maybe like Evil Dead. To me, it'd be like a stout because I think Evil Dead, for some reason, more like Halloween, fall, winterish type styles, which most people associate like a stout with.
We get the Rogue Dead Guy ale too, could be.
Well, yeah. No, I mean, I wouldn't disagree with that.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking like beer types, not necessarily like a specific
stout
type of.
And then Porky's would be like what? Like, Could it be like a light? Would it be like a lighter beer for you too, like a lighthearted, fun beer or something?
Seems like Porky's being kind of a Hefeweizen type, like just kind of mellow, whatever, like a fun, just like a
Mrs. Ballbreaker.
But I guess that would be too far from your Oberon, though. I mean, that'd be wheat style also. So
yeah,
Sophie's Choice, I would think, would be more like a serious type. What would that be? I would think that would be kind of like a barrel aged, more sophisticated type beer style, like a barrel aged something.
Put some work into it, yeah,
like a stout or a barrel aged something another, and all the right stuff. That would be like a, I don't know, astronaut theme kind of. Think of like just an American style lager of some sort, like it just. But I don't know, like specific beer types, so, from breweries or whatever, offhand. I think the stout itself.
Yeah,
it does.
Well, it's good. Yeah, you compare definitely the style there. So yeah, let me see. I think this was about the tongue. Okay, you got to beat that shit like it owes you money and marinate it forever. So I just want to make sure that I knew the topic was there. Because it started out and I was a little concerned with the beginning of it. Like
that looked as tough as hell to me. I was like, no, I'll pass.
And Julie, liver sausages and the flavors, right? I've never been a big liver type person, but and Dooley, I have had a jambalaya, I think it's in, so I probably could do that. There are no food sins. If you don't like it, don't order it. Yeah, but you got to order it to know if you like it. Chicken or egg right there. Doesn't taste like everything the animal ever ate. I drink a lot of barley wine if I had to watch any of those movies. Barley wine across the board. Miss Ballbreaker was.
Miss Ballbreaker, yeah.
Like, if I could just see it one more time, and I know I can identify it. Oh man, do they even make movies like that really nowadays?
No, I don't.
I just think of like the '80s when we had like Porky's and you had like the Spring Break or the ski type movies. It was always like sex and all kinds. I think they still kind of make them nowadays, but they're just not the same kind of formula like when we had them. Yeah, same vibe when we had it back then.
It is going into like these are just kind of like, oh, it's just Porky's, whatever. You're like, oh, okay, all right.
Some of their shit like is so serious now. Like I've seen shit like on HBO, like some of the shows, like it's like Euphoria and all that. Like, whoa, it's like have some fun for it. Like, why is it all serious? Everything is so serious right now. Yeah. Oh. So much, we had to think about the parent. Evan said, we're not going to half-ass it for you, son. We're going to think deep and come up with something.
Come strong or don't come at all.
See, Piss Up a Rope by Ween. Okay. Porky's the movie we watched. My friend's mom humped me in 6th grade as I slept over. Whoa, okay.
What?
So you had your own Lassie. Rick said, whoa. Yeah. He said, Big Daddy said, try on. Yeah. Trish just laughing, like, yeah. Well, I remember I think Big Daddy Toast kind of had an episode like that in the past. So yeah. Again, different time growing up back then, I think. So I
was never invited to any of those kind of parties.
Well, you think back to the 80s. You think back to then, and it was like we used to watch like the different movies like on HBO, and obviously in the coming out of the 60s, you had the Graduate stuff where it was like, undergraduate getting hit on by the dean's wife or whatever. But then like some of the movies like up and through the 80s were like the Joan Collins type things where it was like the teenager was over with the girl studying, but then the mom was trying to make moves on it. So it was just like,
you're right.
There was a whole big thing in the 80s where it was just like the whole friend's mother type thing that took place down there. I don't think they have them really now because now it's like so taboo, I guess. But back in the 80s, it was just like, so that's like if I think if a teacher did something with a kid, people were like, yeah, like nobody really said anything. Nowadays, obviously, it's still wrong. It was wrong back then. It's wrong now, but it's just a different mentality or whatever. So.
The kicker for the Bengals is legit. He just knocked one in from 64 yards.
Are they tied now?
McPherson, now they're
yeah.
I think they're a point ahead again.
Okay. All right, they were down 2 before, then the other team went
Oh, no,
ahead
they're at 5. It's 20-15 now.
Huh. That's a weird score.
I thought Miami was up 2 before that one, but the other way.
How much time is left in the game?
It was like, I don't know, halfway through the fourth.
Because it's got to be fourth quarter now. Yeah,
it's like 7 minutes left. I'm not sure exact time on that one, but
yeah, I'll say Trez is there in Cincinnati, but he's a Niners fan, so he's probably not paying as much attention to it.
6 minutes. 6
minutes. Okay. So Bridgewater's quarterbacking now for the Dolphins. So see what happens. That's funny. Is this a repeat? I thought I had the South Carolina game one earlier. Somehow I've got the LSU game one right now.
Oh, yeah. If you watch on SEC Network, yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's a repeat. They must have took off the Carolina game. Oh, they switched it over. Okay. Well, it said it's supposed to be New Mexico. Yeah, there it is. I don't know who won the South Carolina game, but
probably ended and then they just played something to fill the time, I'd say.
If there's a team that doesn't matter as much in the SEC, it's probably South Carolina, so you probably cut it off.
They won 50-10.
South Carolina did when they were playing South Carolina State, so it wasn't too bad. Yeah, BYU is playing Utah State right now on the ESPN.
So they won 50-10, so 40-point spread. They were projected to win by 39.5.
So if you had South Carolina State, you covered the spread.
No, if you bet South Carolina, you would have won by half a point.
Wait a minute.
39.5.
Oh, because they won by 40. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I
don't think there's anybody better than the odds makers in games. Like hands down overall, like there's nobody better in their profession than an odds maker.
Yeah, it's funny watching Scott Van Pelt sometimes with the bad beat segments where it's just somebody does something and it's like, are you kidding me? Like this should have been locked up and then something like this happens.
Like a last second shot, just throw it over the net, whatever. Some stupid shit. Yeah.
Everybody, no big deal. Like it's a big deal if you're betting. It's a big deal if you're betting. Yeah. Trez, I am. Go Dolphins.
A bunch of money.
Trez root for the Dolphins. We're trying to get his Niners back to the Super Bowl. So yeah, I tell you, this is actually a pretty decent one. So if you see this out here, this is the one, like I said, just released, edition number 24, Vietnamese style coffee stout. It's got a little bit of a cinnamon or something type tinge to it as well. It's pretty tasty.
I'll have to look for that one. I do like to pick those up.
8.5 ABV on that one, so a little bit of sleep tonight. I've had coffee stout. I've had the blackout stout. Well, the other was a maple rock beer, so shouldn't be too bad.
Wide awake.
Yeah. Who did an espresso drink this late? Yeah, that was me.
Oops. Yeah.
Didn't
mean to.
Just like hell with them bungles. Well, your Colts have been. How have they been doing this year?
They're 1-1-1.
No, the old tie.
Not very good.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I shouldn't say not very good because Jacksonville is supposed to be like terrible.
So why does it
by a bunch? But they're 2-1 right now, so they're actually doing pretty good.
Why does the NFL even have ties anymore?
I have no idea.
I feel like
that is
get rid of it.
Thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah. Although I will say they did make a move forward this year because I never really watched it. When I did watch NFL, but the Pro Bowl got so stale over the years that now they got rid of the Pro Bowl. It's going to be like a skills competition.
And flag football.
But then I thought about it. Wasn't flag football we injured like Robert Edwards back in the day for New England that killed his career? He got hurt in the flag football game for the rookie game.
I feel like that might have been actually.
Yeah, so it's like you're still not fully safe out there, but yeah.
No. The Pro Bowl was the dumbest like all-star game ever in any sport. Like that was just the worst.
Yeah, and then if you got people that are Super Bowl, they can't participate in it as well.
Right,
Like that. Yeah, it's like why not do it like in the middle of the season, like the NBA does or something, or do it afterwards again, like you did previously.
Or like baseball, they do it in All-Star break or whatever. It's like
right. It's just they kind of miss off of that part, I think. Although he does give him credit,
is better. I don't know, but you still can't. I mean,
I'm just thinking the running back got injured there, and he was done for his career.
Right.
The Bengals are awesome. Unis are awesome. He must say. He's giving credit for the Bengals uniform. So
yeah, those helmets do look good.
Yeah. Big Day said it was a red light watching a real helicopter that flew into a flock of geese. Geese spiraling down to earth, and the copter looked like it was going to crash. It's an interesting thing to see. Wow.
Oh wow.
That is interesting. Kind of freaky there.
That'd be hard to top on that one for sure.
Colts upset the Chiefs last week.
Yes, they did.
So they're doing good. They're doing all right. I mean, 1-1-1, but they're fighting.
They're half a game out first, and they're
EB in the house. Cheers, EB.
What's up, EB?
We were just talking about South Carolina earlier and wishing you guys make sure you're all safe down there. So, because I've been in touch with EB and Erie, make sure they're all good. We did a Call of Duty competition last night. Didn't do as good as we thought we were going to do, but it was still fun. I think I've regressed in Call of Duty on some of my skills. I gotta rechange some things or something.
Is that age setting in?
I don't know. Age with the, I don't know. Maybe it might be the reflexes. I don't know.
Probably not, but it just makes me feel good to say that.
Probably, yeah.
That's what I always blame it on.
I've been a gamer for a long time, Todd. Been a gamer for a long time, and sometimes you have to.
That's why I always like to bring that up. It's like, yeah, I'm getting slow mode age. That's all it is.
At some point, we all make. At some point, we all make the decision. You have to go from the gamer to being the guy behind the booth talking about the gamers. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got to go to the broadcasting stage, you know.
Exactly. Transition at some point. Like,
yeah.
I'm just going to commentate.
I'm like, is there an over 50 league out here? What's going on? Like basketball, you get the over 50 basketball leagues. What about over 50 gaming league, you know? I need some skills to match my age. So yeah. But no, it was fun. We always do that kind of stuff. So it's like a new thing called Z League that you can do, but we're anticipating the new Warzone coming out. So
yeah, when's that come out?
That basically tours, I think, the 3rd or 4th week of October, I believe. So new Modern Warfare 2 comes out in a few weeks. I think the 18th, I believe, and then that'll come up afterwards. So
I might have to get the new one just so I can play with you guys again because that was fun. Even though I was terrible at it, but
we always say, we always have different things. We're always like, I suck this game or suck that. The fun thing about our crew, the Custom Fuss crew, is we're all there for the commentary and entertainment more than anything.
Right.
So it's like, we may not win the matches, but you'll laugh as hell when you watch us play.
We got Erie's there, so you're gonna laugh for sure.
Yeah.
Listen to her and Alan go back and forth.
Yeah. Let me see. Did you say a serious brain injury? He was concussed Sunday again tonight. Oh wow. Yeah. Well, he should have came back into the game. They were saying last weekend, and EB said, they sent him out again on Sunday talking about his back. Yeah, they playing with his life there. Fined heavily for Norton. I'm not going to disagree on that. That's what the NFL does, though. I mean, it's kind of just my opinion. You're a player. You're basically cattle that they're trying to get out there to move you. So
pretty much sell tickets and make money.
Yeah. Well, hopefully Tua rebounds okay and everything.
Miami just blew their chances probably.
Paul's just trying to sports Paul talk. Just Paul never watches sports stuff. I've actually got more into the Premier League than I do NFL, so I've been kind of watching that on Sundays and Saturdays.
We went to last Friday. to the which you had the Cincinnati team there, which is the same year for like the Louisville Lou City club or whatever. Which they're not like in the big, like they're just kind of the minor leagues or whatever. We went over and watched them for the first time Friday night. The guy I work with had season tickets, so he couldn't go, so he gave me 2 tickets, so we went. It was pretty fun. It was
you
good
enjoyed it and everything?
Yeah, it was good. It goes way faster in person than it does when you watch it on TV.
Yeah. Well, on TV, I feel like it goes decent just because I usually watch the European ones, and the European watching is different than the American watching. Like a lot of the American games I've watched, whether it was FC Cincinnati or DC here, there's a lot of sitting on the hands. There's not as much cheering and stuff. But when you watch the games from out of England and Scotland and all overseas, and it's like the singing and the whole thing and the gamesmanship, it's just totally different experience and stuff like that. So it's like a guy kicks the ball and it goes across the line and people are hiding the ball where the guy can't get. It's just all kinds of crazy type stuff that happens there. There was try to get a PS5 for Star Wars Squadrons. The price was so sad, dusted off my practically new PS2. Started buying games and playing. If you ain't playing Destroy All Humans, you're asleep. That's actually been a game I've heard that's been pretty fun on that one. I'm trying to think Squadrons. I think I have Squadrons now on the PS4, I believe. Where this is the one where you're actually flying as fighters. I haven't played it in a bit, but
was that one we was playing there for a while with Star Wars?
Battlefront 2 or Battlefront 1, one of them.
Fun.
Yeah, that was actually a decent one to play. I'm not big into Star Wars movies, but I do like the Star Wars games. Finger chest are used over involuntary reaction to severe neurological injury. Oh, wow. Okay, so that was like the hand thing you were showing earlier.
Yeah. I was saying his hands were all drawn up and stuff. I didn't know what it was like. He couldn't control it. Like he was just.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah.
But it didn't look like I've seen 1,000 hits that were way worse than that one looked.
NFL, I love it, but I fucking hate it too. Yeah. It's opposite. It's a love-hate relationship.
Right. But being concussed just not too long ago.
Yeah.
Again tonight, like it probably totally. Yeah, it might. He may not be playing again.
Yeah. And then Trent said, "Yeah, exactly. I love the Premier League. Yeah, the Premier League is fucking fun as hell to watch and stuff and seeing." Last year, I was settling kind of into watching Everton. Kind of I liked what they were doing. So I was kind of rooting for them and a lot of stuff. And haven't seen many of their games this year, but I just love watching the excitement and stuff like that on it. Kind of getting to know more of the players and stuff. It's interesting. It's pretty decent. It's definitely better than I thought. I never thought I would sit there and watch like a football game or in America a soccer game until the end of it. But I get pulled into it watching it and stuff and how they set up their plays and how they.
So have you gotten to the point? Have you gotten to the point where you know like the rules?
Yeah, I know all the rules and stuff. Well, I play
rules and whatever.
I do FIFA now on PlayStation too, so I know all the rules and stuff too, and I know the certain players that are the key players in certain teams. So I've gotten that down and who does what and everything, and it's kind of like, it's interesting. Now as a kid, I played like soccer for like I think maybe 1 or 2 years. It was totally different back then, though. When I played as a kid, but. So it's fun to watch. It's fun to learn that kind of stuff, and it's kind of these strategies. I see them more in play now when I watch them on there. Like I can see what they're doing and stuff. It's kind of like pretty cool. I can watch them like get ready to set up somebody where they hit across, and somebody can try to head into goal or something like that and everything. And so you get the anticipation building and stuff now. Once you figure out what's going on, it's pretty freaking awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a good time. It was fun going to the game.
And then EB said he wished he was still in because he's big in the AFL now, so he's watching a lot of that with the rugby type stuff. And I've tried to watch some of that. I don't have all the rules out of that one. I actually ended up purchasing one of the rugby games on PS5 so I can actually pick up how to actually know how to score or do all that kind of stuff too. But those are always interesting to watch too. I just got to figure out all the details. Early in the morning to watch any games kind of sucks. So yeah, well. I don't know about their EB, but here we actually get replays during the day where they do repeats of the games as well with some of the sports networks, which makes it a lot easier than being up at like 3 a.m, which is when they're live over there. Bengals about to put the game away. It means either Bridgewood is not the Earl Morrall generation, or those aren't just 72 Dolphins, or both. Yeah. Well, it's never over till it's over with the Bengals, so just be careful. Go with both, JT. He said, yeah. Didier Drogba was a hell of a player. Played for Chelsea. Yeah. Yeah, Chelsea had a good. They're doing some stuff there. They're not as good this year as what they've been in the past, I guess. But and they've had some struggles early in the season. Manchester City, I've been watching Manchester United. I've seen. I'm surprised that the Wolves are actually lower than I expected them to be because they're usually a pretty good team. But actually, the one that surprised me the most this season has actually been Tottenham. They've actually been playing a lot better than I expected them to actually have a team for. So, yeah, I'm kind of tuned in. I know a little bit. Say the Dolphins will watch the Super Bowl on TV. Yeah, they'll pop the champagne once the Dolphins lose.
Yep.
Yeah, FIFA soccer is awesome. So I'm still on. I'm on 22. I didn't decide if I'm gonna get 23 yet or not. But we got a game sometime again, Trez too, as well. Because Trez is a gamer as well. So we need to get connected up and do some stuff. AFL starting football league, starting rules stuff is way more exciting than NFL, football, and rugby. In my opinion, I do love catch Premier League and rugby when I catch them. Yeah, AFL is definitely. Oh, the Spurs are doing it. Yeah, Tottenham they're just like this might be their season to actually run the table. They're playing that good over there. So now EB, he's actually why can't I think of the name now? He's a big fan of EB, it's the team you root for. Fuck. Maybe I didn't drink too many beers. You're supposed to drink 2 beers a day to avoid dementia. Maybe because I drank 3, I'm over my limit.
Oops.
But, Liverpool. He's a fan of Liverpool. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's usually pretty solid.
I was like, yeah, I can't help you out.
Yeah, he just mentioned it there too. So yeah, he's big on Liverpool. But I think Tottenham's kind of going to be possibly the team to beat. I know they're big on. I think it's Manchester City and the guy they just brought in there. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's like their striker who's had like I don't even know, like 7 goals in 8 games or 9 games, or it may be. But I'm liking what Tottenham's doing as a squad. But I'll watch that on the weekend, like on USA or whatever, when they come on. Yeah, if you ever checked out Premier League, it's pretty fun. It's pretty entertaining. And the songs always keep it lively.
Yeah, I don't follow it enough that close.
Yeah. You ever want to see?
Although seeing it live, I might start watching a little bit more.
You ever want to see a cool movie? Watch the Green Street Hooligans. I think it's on Netflix still.
I've heard you talk about that before.
Yeah, and that kind of is just it's more of the club aspect of the people that follow the different teams over there. But it's crazy, like the seriousness that some people would take it on stuff. At least it's emulated that way. But from knowing people over there to UK, it gets pretty deep on some of the different stuff there. If you're looking at the direction of play 2 injury, you won't be surprised to see massive stink made. It may be because they may have brought him back to you early from last week too.
Oh yeah. Especially don't you have to like clear a certain protocol or something for that?
Yeah, you're supposed to clear a protocol that I guess the Dolphins kind of shortcut last week to get him back in the game. And that's
of course it was a short week too, so being Thursday
night, yeah. So there was some criticism I saw about that, and then, yeah. It's tough with football, though, because football in itself is going to be a violent game. So you're trying to take violence out of it. You're never going to get the violence out of it.
No.
And if you play it too safe, you end up having more injuries that happen, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
You can almost go the other way with it.
Right.
Like I said, I saw him get tackled tonight. Like it didn't look that bad, other than his head maybe hit the ground a little bit, but it wasn't. I've seen way worse than that, and guys get up and go play.
It was funny. Someone shared a video on TikTok or Facebook, wherever it was, but it was showing the ad of the old 1980s or 90s like NFL films videos that you remember and I remember, and it was showing basically the intro to the show, and they were like, yeah, like most of these clips they're showing are all penalties nowadays, and they were just showing the hits that were being made. It was just like totally different game now,
like big hits. And
yeah, people getting dropped on their head and all kinds of stuff, and just like
spearing and things like that.
Yeah, they'd be like, that'd be a flag. That would be a flag. That would be a flag. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that changed, that's for sure.
Times have definitely changed in that regard, but it is what it is. Like the whole me watching more college football. It's like once a weekend. It seems it's always like the whole targeting thing. It's kind of like it's tough. Like some of the plays that get called for targeting, it's like you can't adjust your body mid form. I feel bad for some of those players. Now some end up being kind of more of a targeting type situation, but there's just some that are just like it's physics. If you go down to try to tackle or use the shoulder, that person goes down, you're tackling, and you make head-to-head contact. It's not like you did on purpose.
Right.
You can't adjust anymore. You've already tried to go lower than that person. That person went low. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I feel bad because then they get ejected for the game or whatever, and it's kind of like they take
and have to miss some of the other game or like the next game too, depending on which quarter it might have happened in or whatever.
And the way the rule is written, it's kind of like they have to follow this thing, and it's like it takes out the ability for them to make a judgment call on it, which sucks. But
I mean, guys probably are bigger, faster, and stronger than 30 years ago or whatever.
Yeah,
40 years ago, but. I mean, even then it was a violent game, but I don't think it's nearly as bad as it is now, I don't think. Just because of the strength of guys now,
Yeah, I mean, guys are bigger and faster, and they're hit with more impact for sure. But
I mean, you got defensive linemen that are running like a 4.5 or 4.7 or something,
Yeah.
You probably didn't have receivers back in the day run that fast.
No. Which is kind of funny that you have that.
And like 200 pounds, weight wise, like 200 pounds less than the guys you're talking about running that fast now. It's like,
Yeah, all that definitely comes into play. The NFL crunch course, that's one of the NFL hard hits type things back then.
Oh, yeah.
Two got it for a second. Sunday was head hit the turf and he collapsed and had to be held by teammates. They tried running and had to be held up again. Claimed it was a back injury. Yeah. So, I mean, that's when they've had some heat coming on them because they're like saying they didn't go through the protocol. After the fact, I don't think the NFL did anything to penalize them for it, though, yet. But
Right. Not yet. They may now.
Yeah. Flag football new fan in high schools, but for girls, there are more than 50 new programs coming each year. Oh. That's interesting. I know for younger ages, flag football is definitely getting more play. My brother's kids, they actually are playing flag football now. It's kind of interesting because I think the kids are like 7 or 8 or whatever. But when I coached football last, I coached 8 to 10-year-olds, and it was actually a full equipment football. But I think there's a kind of a safety thing there now, depending on where you're at. His knew with his head and shook his head, so apparently the fucking lie with this being what. Yeah, I from what I saw, it seems like they were definitely like not putting the player's best interest forward on that. They don't pay for not playing themselves. I'll be surprised. Yeah, and I think now they're going to definitely be hit. If there's something from this that might have been trailed from that, it's going to be definitely something that comes into play. But it's the NFL too. So the NFL, as far as
they'll do what they can to cover it for sure.
Well, as far as being morality type things, it's kind of like I'll give the NBA better. They're better at it than the NFL is when they deal with stuff like that. And in Major League Baseball, probably the same way. It's just the NFL is just the NFL, and it's a different type of psyche for that league.
I feel like it's kind of a different breed of athletes too, in general.
Yeah.
Mindset.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think we'll go ahead and get wrapped up here tonight. We're at 11:20, and good conversation as always. Appreciate everybody definitely chiming in. And he was a problem with them trying to cover themselves. That was live and stopped playing them. It's kind of hard to cover now without burning them. Yeah. True.
Yeah.
But it was great to be back for another Toss One Back Thursday. And we toss. We say toss one, but we always toss back a few. And hopefully you guys did as well. I know Gilbert did because Gilbert was pretty deep into the beers. And I know Big Daddy definitely threw some back. And it was great to catch up with everyone. Great having Rick in as a part. Rick, I'm going to be doing a video with at some point as we're working on it. But we're talking barbecue and beer. But make sure you check out Rick's channel as well as everybody else. And my buddy Eclectic Beard here. If you haven't checked him out, he gives some pretty cool stuff on the inside. He's about to hit the 100K mark. So
party.
He's up in the 90s, and EB is definitely getting it done and is on the verge of getting that silver play button. So much applause to him for that as well. And all the good stuff that he's actually doing, all the fun stuff he's bringing to YouTube. And he'll actually be the first of my buddies that hits that silver play button. And I can actually say I knew him when. Yeah. And of course, he's our ultimate gaming partner that we game with as well. So always awesome to have great success and great things happening. And okay, my applause is now going over on the applause. I think I hit the loop button. That's all right. We'll give you more applause. There you go. So drop back there. But thanks for everybody that definitely tuned in, and back next Thursday to drink some more beer, talk some more things, and have some more fun. But Todd, anything you want to say there at all? Anything?
It's good to be back. Glad everybody joined. See you next Thursday, I guess.
Yeah. Trez says, enjoy the show. Have a great weekend. You too, my friend.
Hey, Trez.
Yeah, disgraced because I like the Dolphins head coach, but he's ultimately responsible ultimately. And next week, let's talk about anal beads and chest trauma. You know what? Next week, Shannon may be here, so that may be a possibility. So if we get Shannon here, you can leave that topic with her, JT. So
write it down.
She'll be all about having that discussion.
Oh, God, yeah.
With that being said, we're going to go ahead and sign off, and we will catch up with you guys next week. Y'all have a great Friday and a better Saturday and Sunday, and we will talk to you soon. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.